Welcome. You're listening to the 27th Hour with Junior
and Dre Rocker.
Get ready, strap in, and hang on.
Hey, welcome to the club.
Okay, we're on the right track.
Like, so you good? You guys find the game?
I don't know. Welcome back to the show. Episode 29. Fellas, we're right there. One more episode. We'll be 30. Special shout out. Thanks, Ryan Rowley, for all your help, my man. Appreciate all that. Another special quick shout out to High Point Acupuncture. Been saving my old lady's life at the moment. So thank you, Mike. And to the Lewis family helping us out with that. We appreciate you guys. And thanks all guests, everybody helping us, man. We appreciate it. We see all your stuff, all your comments. It's all so appreciated. Thanks, Dre. You're amazing always. Thanks to everybody. I'm just happy to be here on the live.
Yeah,
I don't know about everybody else, but like everything's simple. I'm cool with that now. Sean, what's up, bro?
No, man. How are you doing? Sorry about the
news.
some of the stuff, but
Yeah.
you guys power through everything.
Yeah. I don't know what else you do, man.
No,
What the
I
fuck
think
else
you're
can you
doing
do?
it. You know, you're doing it.
It's like, I don't know what you do. I really don't.
Just
You give
take
up.
it, stay positive. You could, but what does that get you? You don't know where.
I always
So-
feel like somebody's got it so much worse. I swear to God, but I know, in my heart, I'm like, this is fucking not cool. But
Right.
everybody's got it. Somebody else has got it way worse, man.
Right. So,
I'm so thankful for everything.
right. Like with that, right? My daughter spent 3 months in primaries, but to get to her room, you had to pass the cancer ward. And there were kids there that have never left the hospital, that they only knew that room in the cancer ward. And so with what you're saying, right, I had to pass that to go to my girl's room, and it's like
We're good.
there's 5-year-olds in there that have never left this place,
Right.
right? And so it was like, okay, yeah, she's sick, but she's going to get over that. Those kids might not. So with what
Perspective.
you're saying, yeah, right.
It's real. It's like, what do you
Just-
do? You're just thankful. I don't know how else to go about it, man.
Yeah, gratitude, I think, is the first step, right?
It truly is. And then that segues into your life, like the things you see, the things you do. First of all, before we even get started,
Sure.
let me see your face. Move your mic over.
Right. Oh yeah.
Push it. So pull like mine.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Now I can
Okay,
see your
now I
beautiful
can-
face.
Oh yeah. Hey,
I love to see people. Is that okay
it's
for
it's face for
as
radio.
long as Dre's okay? I love to see your faces.
That's okay.
But
Can you give
before
me-
we used to have them like right here, and we're
Yeah,
always
right.
trying to like eyeball through these fucking things. I hated it.
No, it makes sense, right? More connection there.
From the bottom of my heart, and I know I'll speak for my family. Some of them can't be here right at the moment, but we are more thankful for law enforcement, for first responders, for this show supports that. You know that, man. I don't have to say that, but first for the world, like
right.
from in here, man, you guys are incredible people, and you especially have a funky little thing. I can't wait to you get into it, but you do more than one thing. But truthfully, man, all this problem with all this stuff, when I speak of this law enforcement thing, is for all this, man, I can only imagine. But I tell you from right here, from everybody I know, you guys, we support. I support right and wrong, and every one of you I know are beautiful humans, and you would never ever do anything so stupid as to what's happened in the world. So anyway, thank you for all you do, my man.
I don't even have any words to say to that. Like, thank you. Speaking for
You're welcome.
all my friends and the guys that I know. I actually was thinking about that previously, right? For 75% of the law enforcement guys I know maybe one that was like, you never should have been in here, right? You're power hungry, but really
Inevitably,
you know,
in everything. It's like,
it could be right there. No matter what job you pick, there's that guy on the construction site that's just a prick,
nobody
right?
talks about any of that. It's like always right at you guys,
Yeah, just front center politics.
Sad, man.
It's hard. It's right. So in the 12 years, it has changed drastically. In this past year, more people on gunpoint I've ever had in 10 years,
Is that how long you've been?
and that's yeah.
at
So
you? What
so
do
I've
you-
been
what can you say you do?
yeah.
Let's go there.
So I'm what's called an operator, right? So operator is when we'll say a SWAT team, right?
Okay.
You finally get pinned when the team says you're an operator, right? You've gone through, all the, police academy, basic SWAT school, advanced SWAT school, Hell Week, which is hell in the coolest, funnest way. And like I'd go back, but I wouldn't be happy until I got there.
Right.
But truly, all the guys like on my team,
So
best
operator,
guys I've ever known. Yep.
what can we tell somebody about, just before we go too far, what is a dumb way of saying it? Well, it's not a dumb way, but for somebody that doesn't know,
Sure. So
you're
about 1% of cops make up kind of these elite teams, right? A SWAT team, or sometimes they're called a CERT team.
Okay.
Like the prison has their own CERT team, right? Special training, deal with the worst guys that are, throwing poop at you and biting you, and these guys are trained with shields to go in and knock their ass against the wall, get them in custody for whatever it is they got to move them to, right? So operators just, right when cops need 911, that special weapons and tactics, that's kind of an
something a little
operator.
more than just an officer. We need some help here.
Yeah, right. So minimum thing, most places want you on a force for 3 years. You go to selection, kind of how military has selection for, Rangers. It's just they put you through a pretty rigorous process.
Yeah.
Mine was kind of double because I was testing for the medic, and the medic test is even harder because first they kind of, you got to go play in their world for a minute and you don't know anything. And then they send you through everything else. And so the trust they have in you, they kind of recruit you at how they see you as a medic. And it's like, dude, that guy handles all of his shit, and we don't want anyone else working on us except for him, right? So you kind of get recruited and send you through all the training. And then, SWAT school is they keep you awake for a week, and you are running 22 hours a day in your pack, in your kit, and just doing, training that most of the time it's not talked about because it is pretty advanced.
Sure.
We had a lot of training from the military, right? A lot of special forces guys will train us. We have a couple guys that are in the Guard or actively in the Army now that are our main instructors.
So are you assigned a city, an area kind of thing where you can help multiple agencies, whatever you will?
It's kind of weird, right? So yeah,
tricky.
right now we are 3 or 4 cities that have come together and made kind of a team.
And can you utilize your...
Yeah, and they can, there's been a few times where it's like, hey, we just need 6 guys. And it's like, cool. First 6 to say I'm in, they get to go. More equipment, more training, specialized stuff, automatic weapons, flashbangs, grenade launchers that have bean bags.
The good stuff.
Crazy stuff, right? Stuff that literally is like in the movies.
Right.
Those flashbangs, they jack you up. It's just like, people that scared playing Call of Duty, it's like, no, it's scary.
That's it.
It's scarier than that. It messes you up for 3 or 4 seconds, right? And then by the time you bust in the room, they still aren't oriented to what's going on. So
from percussion,
gun,
what does it? What?
Yeah, so it's sound, compression, and concussion, and light. Worse than the sun. It's such a shock.
Just disorient the fuck out of you.
So we call it an OODA loop. Observe, orient, decide, and act. Right now, someone who's drugged out or crazy, their OODA loop, if they've already made that decision, I'm killing just the first guy I see, cop, random guy walking down the street, their OODA loop is a little bit shorter, right? Because they've already made a decision, I'm just going to kill somebody.
Yeah.
When you disrupt that, you reset it. So most people that are not as stress inoculated, 3 to 4 seconds is your normal. Holy cow, right? We just missed that train.
Yeah.
It takes you 3 seconds to kind of sit there and be like, what just happened? Most guys that are stress inoculated, military, SWAT, I'd say some fire guys, right? Like 1.5 to 2 seconds or shorter. And so because we're used to that stress inoculation, right? So flashbang is all about messing up that order of process of your brain. And 3 seconds is a long time when you're talking, we can rush in a door, put 3 guns on you, and, you don't do what you're told. There we go, right?
Right.
So it's not used for dope, and Utah's had quite a change since Officer Franken was shot in Ogden. We'd go after little stuff, homegrown dope, little things, use this big, extravagant, trucks, flashbangs. It's not done that way anymore. This is more hostage rescue, really bad warrants, guys that are, making bombs, guys that are, no shit. We've actually had 2 ISIS cells that we went after in 2016, 2 weeks apart.
In Utah,
man. So, I mean, I can't tell you the exact location, but it would
I feel that.
That's really Taylorsville, Kearns area. 2 different cells.
Not even together.
Not as far as we know. They had different gang names, and they're selling AKs and opium, which is massive export out of Afghanistan.
Right.
And so when people are like, I was telling my grandpa, he's a Vietnam vet. He's like, no way you just busted that. Like, I'm serious, man. Little Utah. And he still couldn't believe it. Like, are you like ISIS cut your head off?
And this is all found out through the people I respect with my heart is this law enforcement. People, it doesn't matter what it is, but you guys are working all the time. We're always looking, we're always helping, we're always trying to. That's the law enforcement I see, is what you speak of, doing the homework, trying to figure these problems out before they're a fucking problem.
There is nothing taken lightly, right?
But let's not talk about that. Let's just talk about some of the shit that, like, what?
I know.
That needs to be out there, and like, but it's almost like it's repressed just enough where you guys don't, not you guys, but it's almost like it doesn't want, whoever it is doesn't want it out there. It's almost like we're just going to keep this under wraps still, even though all we do is catch shit, and all we do is get harped on for killing the wrong colors and all this other stuff. I understand. I'm not taking away from any of that, but what you guys do is not spoke of, and I think you guys are amazing human beings, man.
The amount of work, right? Seriously, when detectives are taking stuff at home, and
you live it, they live it.
Yeah, and it's sad, right? The divorce rate for cops is like 91%.
And drug use and alcohol abuse and
PTSD.
Fuck, man.
Right now, and this is actually scary, right? So, just California stats alone, there's a suicide every 3 or 4 days of a cop or a firefighter right now in just Cali. And if we put that nationwide, it would probably be one every day.
One a day?
So one every 2 or 3 days. That's just Cali. If we look nationally,
and how many are going in? Is it even? You know what I mean? It's probably not as quick as they're going out, bro.
Right now, it'd be 6s.
I've never seen. There.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like this. Where, West Valley, Ogden, they've had continuous recruitment where they can't fill enough spots. Right. They've had it open for years.
Imagine that.
Yeah, weird, right? They get attacked, and the sad thing is too, right? Like, you'll get in trouble for. I actually got in trouble for changing a tire. Because the risk manager, a non-elected position, a risk manager says, "Well, can't believe you did this." Well, why?
For a person.
Yeah, right. Little car accident. Show up, do a report. No big deal. Lady's tire's flat. She just took her husband to the airport. Doesn't really have anybody that can come change your tire. Oh, you got a spare in the back? Let me see. Yeah. You're the one that got hit. Now your tires. She's got 3 kids crying. And
you get in trouble for this.
Yeah. What kind of liability? What if that wheel falls off and she gets in an accident?
I don't know why you have to justify any of this. This is ridiculous. That's what I see in my brain as a cop, as an officer of any sort. You guys are such.
This is what.
That's too bad.
This is what politicians and especially non-elected city officials, right? They're missing this, and that's part of the problem with the culture that's going on, is that they alone don't have your back. And so when you think of it in that way too, right? Most of these people are just so good-hearted that not only in danger from what they're encountering and the PTSD, but they don't have backup from their own employment. And it's, some do, obviously, but kind of with the way the trend, the way things are going, you get in trouble for really dumb stuff.
Everywhere.
Everything. And Utah's lucky and special where we are more conservative, right? I mean, we have a couple bases that I think help keep some of that patriotism here, right? But you've got representatives in California that are actually proposing to take guns away from beat cops, and only like SWAT can have them. And just imagine the chaos.
I believe that's gangs. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you may not know. I think that's correct in New York, though. Off-duty cops cannot even pack guns.
See, and
that
it's so crazy.
I ran into a guy in Walmart, and long story led to, I don't know, I love talking to people. And
Sure.
He told me that, and he's like, in New York, you cannot pack a firearm off duty. And it's a long story went into it, and I just blew my mind. And
Right.
I mean, whatever, that's whatever, everybody does
Whatever,
their thing.
right.
It's all
Sure.
voted in, voted out, whatever it all is. But man, that's just really,
just off-duty cops, or is that citizens as well?
yeah,
They got pretty tight.
it's tight. You cannot, I don't know the law completely, but you ain't getting no pistol there. You're not packing a firearm.
No.
Long guns are fine with, but nobody's packing this shit,
No.
right? So it's,
No, we're
but the bad guy's got him stuffed in his fucking shit, and he's hiding them, and he can go do his thing and whatever. But an off-duty
He's got
officer
some protection,
of any
right.
sorts, unless it's special something, I'm sure, are not allowed to pack firearms off duty.
Luckily, so it's kind of encouraged for cops, right? I mean, the one exception would be out, you're with your buddies drinking and you got your badge and your gun with you, unless you're the driver. That's pretty much the exception. But if you're out and just doing errands,
Leaving that to each individual to make that decision.
Sure.
We've pulled away from that. It seems so hard, where there's zero common sense and there's no accountability for any humans at all.
I agree,
It's,
right?
nope, I'm following your rules, and it's black and it's white, and there's these lines drawn, and it's nope, I'm playing the game.
that's
It
not
didn't seem
life.
my grandpa that's now passed. He was a chief of police for Royce City for 42 years.
Yeah.
And I just remember a different dude, man. He was always so. I was just different. He had a different attitude about it, and he was always an officer, but not Mr. Pushy, whatever like that. But he was just he was always a cop, man.
Just really wanted to do good for the community.
He was always helping, and everybody knew, and it seems so different, man. So I don't mean to derail it and all that, but
No, I
really
think it's
feel
part of
bad.
it.
I feel sorry for you guys, man.
No, I do too. This is when you get into this, right? They don't talk about when you're in the police academy. They're starting to.
Let me clarify, though. I don't feel bad for the bad ones now.
Well,
I'm not pro cop. Fuck everybody else. It ain't like that at all.
Right.
So
In fact,
I may have said that.
in fact, that most cops though, right?
Eye for an eye. Like,
they don't want that either.
okay.
Right. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're not bound to hiding them. They go into admin and say, what is this?
Right.
Like, this is bullshit.
Right.
And so they do that most of the time. And this is what's weird to me is that, like I said, you'll do something really good and go above and beyond, and you get in trouble. Yet someone that is a piece of shit and does these power trips and is an asshole in the community, somehow they get accolades, right? And it's almost the same as, to me, it's like sometimes we're treating criminals better than cops. And I don't know how we've come that direction.
What do you mean? What did that mean? Retreat. I didn't understand what you said is all.
Just right, like we'll let some of these pretty bad criminals go, right? But then a cop does something. I'm not talking about a shooting that's questionable,
Sure.
even just small stuff, and it is carried the punishment, right? It keeps saying, well, there's a higher standard. There's a higher standard for how you conduct yourself, but it shouldn't be a higher punishment for kind of for anything, even something small. At least that, you live to a higher standard. But if I get in an entanglement at work, right, and the guy swings and punches me, and I punch him harder and break his jaw, right, most of the cases are coming back to court, and the bad guy's getting money because I just had a stronger punch. Yet, he was, he got 2 or 3 on me before I was able to do anything back. Yet the news kind of is on their side. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that cop did that. Well, he actually hit me like 3 or 4 times before I could even, get to a taser or get to a maneuver or call for backup, right? And I just happened to hit him harder, and the media blasts you as you need to be in jail for forever because this happened. And it's like, well, actually,
Man, that's tricky.
he's in there beating the hell out of a pharmacist, stealing drugs. He doesn't listen. I catch up to him, turns around and just slocks you, and this is just kind of an example.
Is this
right?
something you know of, even though maybe it's from
right,
some
right, and
that's
the media will say, the media is kind of on their side, and for a minute, admin even treats you like you're guilty. It's not an innocent till proven guilty. It's guilty till proven innocent.
Right.
I guess is how I
feel
is
that.
the easiest way to explain what I'm trying to say, right? You're just automatically guilty. People don't realize in that second, right? It's a short time to make a heavy decision, whether that's a shooting or just putting someone in cuffs. Because even that's a big deal, right? Stopping your civil rights just by putting you in cuffs could have some repercussions. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've all of a sudden stopped someone's civil rights, so you better be accurate in what's going on. And like you said, there's these black and white rules in a world of gray. Yeah. And like I said, you have these non-elected politicians that want to make these rules. And it's an uphill battle. And seriously, some of these guys, like I said, our team, some of the best dudes I know that really are just there risking their life because they want a better community, right? A ton of them are vets. Not only do they risk their lives overseas, they come here and they're doing it again. And, that's why, I kind of joined even in the first place was I wanted them to have the best medic after I see the caliber of these guys. There's culture of certain departments that I'd be like, no way. This is a power trip.
Sure.
Kind of Western cowboy, kind of fly off the seat of the pants type culture.
That's the idea for the masses, I think. People feel that. Right?
Yeah.
Right?
I think so. And I wouldn't do it if it was that kind of culture. But my agency isn't that way at all. And I've never seen personally that be out of line. In fact, I've seen them do the opposite, right? Most guys are going above and beyond and helping, even though we're getting in trouble for changing a tire, we still do it.
I'm trying so hard to stay quiet.
No, don't.
I know so many of you people. First, last name. I know your dogs. I know your kids. I know your cats. I know your house. I know your lip. I know your heart. I tattoo
a lot.
70 or 80 of you.
Yeah.
And every one of you possess this beautiful wanting to helpness that has. It was said on that other show I was on beautifully. People that hate police, but hate however it's worded. I know I incorrectly say a lot of things, and it's just how I am. I don't know the exact verbiage, and it's no disrespect to anybody. People who oppose the law, hate the law, have anything negative with the law, break the law.
Right.
What do we expect from these people? They have hate in their heart for it. That's okay. I see that. Whatever.
Sure.
But it doesn't just. It's like a kid. Another client had somebody pressed this charge against him and had this. He got this long stupid story. You can't just poke and then have it stick like.
Sure. So
I was trying to explain to him, it's a long story, stupid thing happened where it's a ex-girlfriend got really mad at him and pressed this unbelievable charge on him, and he's scared to death, and I'm speaking to him, not has no knowledge. I'm like, there's no way this is going to stick. You can't just slander humans and have it work. But it's working against you guys, though.
It is. In fact, I know
it's insane.
Two of my better friends, right? You break up with your girlfriend, and this gentleman was actually older, super big vet.
Restraining order.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You can't just fucking do that and ruin someone's life.
Right.
But this ideal is what I was saying is it's sticking to you guys.
It is, right? In fact, you have people that are vindictive that'll call that admin and say, hey, he's a bad guy. He pushed me down the stairs, and, well, did you make a report in the city? Well, no, but I'm, making a report against his employment. And yeah, something will stick with zero proof. And certain agencies are good at saying, right, we've investigated it. They'll have another agency investigate it just to CYA. And for the most part, right, without evidence, it is pretty good. But to go through the process is still scary as hell.
Right.
Right? I mean, all of a sudden you're on paid admin leave and you've done nothing, no evidence against you. Just because you're on admin leave, it's not necessarily a vacation, right? You're losing your shit, wondering if you're going to go to jail.
You're scared.
Scared out of your mind. It's not a vacation.
Sure.
And so there's this really fine line of, oh man, do I do this? Do I do that? And you having non-action, we've seen, right, is costing lives, is costing cops getting shot, bystanders in crossfire because a cop is afraid to pull his weapon or ask that extra question or put someone in cuffs and make sure everything's on the up and up before they let him go. Or, hook them and book them. So incredibly tough. And the guys that are full-time that are full-time gang squad doing 60, 70, 80 hours a week, just hunting people down that are murderers, people that have escaped jail. I don't know how the hell it happened. What I saw on the news, 2 days ago, 6 really bad dudes got out of California's jail. I don't know if any of them are caught yet, right? But those detectives, I guarantee, are not going to sleep more than 1 or 2 hours a night until, they find them bad dudes. And it's impressive as hell.
But if he pulls a taser or he steps wrong handcuff, he's first front page on the. This is my thing with it, and I'm not even in the in it. I don't even know the fix. It's a very complex issue. But how do you what are you guys? Some of you guys just, and then we'll get into all your cool stuff. What is it like a rough? You can't blanket issues. That's the problem, I think.
Yeah, flock shooting's bad.
But how do you? In a way, it kind of has to be kind of tossed out there from every time I do one of these. What do you have any great ideas that would be a great implement that would like help? Help some of this. Just kind of start somewhere, and I think all we do is start with us. But
sure.
Do you have any great ideas at all? That
what's kind of interesting, right? All those people that wanted body cams now are opposing them because 99% of the time it's shown that the cop was in the right, and so now those people that were demanding them. I want them opposed.
Who's these people? What do you mean?
I would say, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, a lot of anti-cop organizations.
Okay.
People that
not officers then.
Yeah, no. Officers actually
want them.
Every cop that I know wants them.
Okay.
And
so that's a great idea.
And it's been clearing. Yeah, it's been clearing. And you know what? If it catches a bad one,
there we go.
Then cool.
That's what it's for.
Yeah, like
show what happened.
No one's mad at that.
Yeah.
None of the cops are like
straight up.
Holy crap, we didn't ever see that, right? But yeah, accountability, because then we fired that guy based on this, and we're not tolerating it. To me, that's even more transparent, right? That's the agency being honest, and our agency has done that. Reviewed on random. A lot of agencies do at random. We'll just check the random data box and pull up random calls, and holy crap, they saw something they didn't like, something that was against a standard, a policy, or straight up illegal, and boom, they're gone.
That dude's in trouble.
No ifs, ands, or buts, right? And to me, again, yeah, that shows some awesome transparency. They could have easily just, no one saw that and tucked it under the carpet.
So that's a great one. Body cams.
Yeah.
Do you have other great, that's simple, very simple.
It is, and that's what's weird. People
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Quickly.
And there is some tech problems, right? People, every time you encounter somebody, you're supposed to turn it on.
Sure.
And sometimes, when there's this conspiracy that it was off and something went down, that's just a tech problem. When you're in the middle of chasing a guy, you don't hurry and turn it off. It's not a thought you have, nor is that an option while you're running, right? This is a tiny button. You activate it as you're walking into your call, and your dash cam's always on, right? And so a lot of times you're trying to get both in the picture, right? And then your partner also has cam and a dash cam.
And that split-second reaction when a guy walks up and grabs you, you're like, hang on, sir, let me turn on my camera so I understand that too. It's like, how do you,
so there's some tech issues that the public doesn't, they think that's intentional.
An honest go at it is definitely that though.
Right. And a lot of things that people are saying, well, how can we do better, right? There's already civilian boards where we've got a doctor, an EMT, a teacher, a principal, a construction worker, people from the community that when you have an escalation of force hearing, right? Someone's saying, hey, you went too far.
Right.
They're charging you, or they want to push charges. Not only does your city, municipality, county investigate it, right, with your own IA, or like I said, another police department, just to cover, make sure there's no inside stuff going on,
sure,
right? And then you pass it to these civilian boards and hear normal people that aren't cops. And then I think the better ones, however, though, will have some retired cops or some current cops on that board, so they understand that the culture, the decision, the intensity,
fair representation,
absolutely right. Judge them on your peers,
absolutely.
So I think having a doctor that understands some stress is cool. A teacher that just kind of sees a variety of people and personalities, right? And so most of those are in big cities right now, anyways. And so all these people that they're just hiding these crooked cops, they need to have civilian boards. I mean, I've been hearing this discussion over and over, or seen it on Facebook, and they have these things already, right? We did the body cams like they wanted.
Sure.
We have these civilian boards.
Yeah.
The background check that we go through at my organization is stronger than any other background check for Utah. We run the most intense background check there is. In fact, Post kind of laughed, right? You meet with Post on your first day of the academy, and
Like, fuck, what are you guys? Goddamn.
Serious, they're like
secret Navy SEAL shit. Like,
oh, dude, man, I wish, right? The guy laughed. He looks where I'm from, and he's like, "Oh, they're putting you through, yeah. Never mind, I'm not gonna ask any questions." And it's weird. What they'll do is, you fill out this, 200-page packet, or what? Not really, but this massive packet about your life, and then they ask you about it on the first day. And for me, it was seriously like, "Oh, never mind, you work for them. Never mind, we're not gonna do this." Because ours is so thorough,
strenuous, yeah,
and intense that it was more intense than the academy. They're like, never mind,
CIA coming through,
serious,
yeah.
And they've actually caught guys though, right?
Sure.
So again, that's another thing that Post is seeing when you first filled out something with your agency, and then you fill it again with Post, and something doesn't mesh. They're looking at it day one, saying, "Hey, that's a lie that we caught. You better." You better come clean. And they find some really bad dudes that are lying, and boom, now there's charges, and those guys ain't becoming cops. So I was a little, I won't lie to you, I was a little hesitant going to the police academy and wondering how it was going to be. The city in which I grew up had that kind of cowboy attitude. You know that there's a scene in Footloose where the cop, he's playing his music too loud in his little Volkswagen Bug. The cop says, "Let me see that tape." It's a Quiet Riot, Bang Your Head.
Yeah.
It's just playing it loud, right? Little cop comes out and hits him in the face with the tape. And that's kind of the cops where I grew up were like.
Yeah, that's how my grandpa was.
Like what the hell?
It was just...
And so I'm like, is that what they're gonna teach us? And I was so impressed. In fact, there's a Major Sorensen. I don't know if he's still the director. At the time I went through, he was, and I was impressed by him. He was like. So, they'll give you these little tests, right? I remember day one, we don't know anything yet, right? It was day one of police academy.
Yeah.
Give you the scenario of ladies going 10 miles over. She's got a minivan, and all these kids are screaming and crying, 5 or 6 of them. She's, 10, 11 miles per hour over. You stop her to see if everything's okay. You give her a ticket or not. And 75% of the people in the room, if not more, are like, "Oh, yeah, it's like breaking the law." And I was one of the few that was like, well, she's trying to get her kid to practice. She's watching 5 or 6 kids. They're all screaming in the car. Like, is it that big a deal? How about we go find someone worse? And I remember they actually praised that and used that as an example. Like you need to think more about life.
Yeah, what's your instant reaction?
Yes.
That's beautiful. Right? You're like,
and
there's worse. There's things we're after here. Yeah.
Let's go find the guy with no insurance.
I feel that.
Right?
Yeah.
The guy that doesn't have a windshield that's driving because he's spending his money on meth instead of fixing his windshield.
Right.
That's stuff that's kind of legit, right?
Sure.
Like, remember my dad, don't ever buy a red car. Cops are looking at that.
I've heard the same.
No, dude, I'm looking when that radar says 22 miles over this posted limit. Maybe we'll do that. 10, whatever, as long as you're not cutting everyone off and being an asshole, right?
Right.
It's fine. And I've never once given a shit what color that car is. It's what that car is doing. It's what the driver's doing, right? And this is what kills me. People that are like, "Oh, you pulled me over because I was black." Dude, you have tinted windows and it's nighttime. For all you could have been a white face painted clown for all I know, or an elephant. I couldn't see that shit.
Right.
But you were making your own lane there for about 4 miles, and you was skidding along the Jersey barrier, and then you find heroin under the seat, and he was probably shooting up, and that's why he was riding the Jersey barrier for 5 miles. That's why you pulled him over, not because he's black, right?
But it goes there so.
But it goes
quickly.
there so fast, and I don't care if you're what color you are, if you're doing something you shouldn't be, right? Like, it doesn't matter. Right. It's about your community, right? And protecting the good guys and protecting the majority of the community that does really support you too. And that's the other thing that law enforcement has to kind of remember, right? We get pretty cynical. Public safety in general, right? You get a little jaded, and pretty soon you're only hanging out with cops, and that's a bad thing, right? You disassociate from everyone else, and everyone else is a bad guy and against you. And because that's all you feel sometimes. And then that's all your admin kind of makes you feel sometimes. And so we need to be more aware as far as an industry and public safety about that PTSD argument. And I think we actually just need to actually have some sort of counselor that you see like every 5 years and just help talk some stuff out and almost become less robotic, right? And I know with me, and again, I'll be straight up honest, you know, I was in an event in 2012 that was horrific. And I mean, we talked very briefly before about this. Started having all these health problems this year, you know, autoimmune stuff I've never encountered before, well, last year. And I finally started seeing a PTSD guy just this last August. And he has changed my life, and just 1 or 2 times a month I talk to him. And I totally regret, but him and my doctors all agree that they think it's from holding in that event. And now you're, you know, scared to go to work, yet you're trying so hard to help, and you're trying to go above and beyond. And then you get in trouble for little stuff going above and beyond. But yeah, how do I change that? I'm not going to leave a lady there with her crying kids with this tire that's banged up. But then your risk management says, oh, what if that tire comes off as she's driving down the road? You've opened us up to liability. No, I haven't. She's not going to turn around and sue us for putting her tire on after she was crying how grateful she was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Like
this is sad. This is not cool.
No, and so like I said, these non-elected,
very beautiful picture for people that need to hear all this.
Absolutely, and the other thing is, right, which is a bigger picture, kind of like you said. There's, and I don't know how you fix this, but people need to be terrified of. Everyday people need to be terrified of the censorship and the media control, because that's right. I've been on calls personally, or that I was the guy they're talking about in that call, and it is 180 degrees from it actually happened. And I know that our press officer or public information officer, that is not what they printed in the story, is not what they were told. And so when I'm reading this and I know that that's me they're talking about, it's like, what? You are intentionally sensationalizing that story and manipulating that story. And I do know there's agencies that are paying, say, KSL, to where on your comments page or reporters can't print anything really negative because they're paid to. That's wrong, right? You can't say anything bad about cops from this agency because they're going to pay whoever, whatever media, to stay quiet about it.
Oh my corrupt goddamn.
Right? Like in that, so that's the other thing, that everyone needs to be awake and start. I mean, I don't support Facebook in any way. All the stuff that's kind of going on, part of that has been led and aided by that big tech, and even, like I said, local media. You know, I know, and then I'll watch other people, right? One of my best friends in one of the shootings in West Valley, and they massacred what happened. And
they being the media idea. Okay.
Yep. Even my event, right? Totally massacred. And then you go to court and it's like people that were in the courthouse were like, that is nothing to what the media said, right? That was wrong.
But we can't release that.
But we can't release that until it's over.
To show that was all lie.
So this officer for 5 years goes through this and attacked, and you know, he's got to leave that organization and try to go to somewhere else. And finally, what goes to court after 5 years, judge hears about 3 hours of testimony, says this never should have made it that far. Officer, get out of here. I'm sorry. Bang. You know, but prosecutors, the media, he's guilty. No other way to conclude this. It's like, yeah, there actually is. And when you hear it from him, oh man, that makes a lot of sense. You know, and both of those officers I knew, one divorced, the other one about killed himself. I mean, and for something that they should have done. You know,
holy fuck, dude.
You know, yeah, it's and it's scary, honestly. It's you know, it's hard. I don't think I'm going to make 20 years. I'm in 12 and 20 year for retirement, and I'm thinking of hanging it up and, go to PA or nurse practitioner school and just say,
Because there's too much
yeah, I mean,
with it.
I'm working 72 hours just as the normal to keep your job, normal time for what, 60, 70,000 a year to take a bullet or get killed,
Scrutiny.
or just scrutiny.
Unbelievable scrutiny.
Yeah. I mean, is that really worth your family? I mean, don't get me wrong. Part of my problem is I want to help, and I want to help too much. And that's a problem. I don't think it should be. I've never done anything that would set us up for liability or anything illegal. Never lied to admin, even on a time card, right? In no way. It's like, yeah, I did that. I changed that lady's tire. Yep. And I took that lady's garbage out. Oh, what if she wanted that garbage? Are you kidding me? You know what I mean? And so you deal in this world
It's coming at you from everywhere.
everywhere.
So
It's hard,
why would anybody ever want to get into that?
especially now, right? They changed the retirement. So now your retirement's worse. Some cities are trying to do stuff to battle it, right? Like they're giving you like a 16% match in a 401k, which is actually insanely good. All you have to do is 4 and they'll give you 12.
Sure.
So they're trying to battle that, but you change the retirement from a 20 or 50% to now you got to go 25 years and get 38%. And now with that, which is why every city almost around is looking for 5, 10, 15 cops. So what happens when shit gets out of control like in Salt Lake and we don't have enough guys? And this is spooky.
Unbelievable fear is that. I think it's really, really scary, man. And I think it's time everybody slows down a little bit and really thinks about this, man. And
Have to.
That's why I love having you guys on here.
Have to.
You're incredible people. You guys are so. I just know enough of you personally that I feel like I can speak this, and it's. You're all so awesome, and you don't talk about. None of you talk about money. None of you talk about retirement. None of you
Right.
bring up the things that you're speaking of that are actually now you're thinking of.
Yeah.
None of you ever. You don't even talk. You want to go out and
Just
help
wanna go, right?
and be what you guys are. And I don't even understand it because I'm not one, but I watch it from a distance, and then I see all the scrutiny. My cousin was on, very, very well respected officer, and all these cool things. None of you can talk about. It's horrible. All these awards and the shit you guys can't even say, and it's so sad that man, your heart. I know so many of you, and people are just people. There's no matter what, we're gonna have problems. There just doesn't matter who's in charge of what and who's a police officer, who's a what. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just a human issue, and it's just so incredibly crumbling, coming right down on top of all. I feel on top of officers in my little world. I'm not.
I think you've hit it.
I don't know current events. I don't care. I don't watch the news. I'm not into it, so I'm ignorant to speak to it. But nobody's out to just start killing random people. It's man. I really, really, really do feel for you guys. For the ones I know, you guys are incredible human beings.
And for people that's like, oh yeah, their thought process, right? You put on your gear in that morning, and this is what you wanted to do during the day, dude. When I get a page, and I'm throwing that vest on and that uniform, and then it's like, man, I hope this is like one of the worst, dudes ever that we go stop, right? That's all that's going through my head. It's not, oh, I hope we kill this guy. It's, I hope we get rid of this super bad dude today, and he's not going to rape anymore. He's not going to sex traffic kids anymore. I've just applied for a certain team that goes to other countries and actually rescues kids from sex trafficking joints.
Damn.
And it takes a while, but most guys are ex-SEALs. You're actually deputized by the CIA to go in. I got sent a mission brief of, can you handle this? And it's a story of them going into Haiti, right? And they're pretty graphic and detailed. And once you pass through, their kind of form of clearance, you kind of go on a waiting list. And when they come to the Western region and they kind of hold a tryout, and the guy who actually runs it's a former Navy SEAL, got a few buddies and said, we have the technology, we can do this. We just need to somehow get permission. But it's pretty much volunteer, and you drop down in a helicopter and go rescue these kids in this piece of shit hotel/bar where guys are going, and 12-year-olds are your cocktail waitresses, right? And they've got rooms upstairs. And I mean, they're raping people as young as 2, you know, and it's like, A, can you handle that sight? And then B, you know, could you smoke that guy? And it's like, don't really want to see it, but if I can stop it, then yeah. B, I'd have no problem.
Sure.
The second part, you know, sleep a little bit better taking some of these guys out.
So how does that work though? Because you said it's in Haiti, right? So it's a whole nother country. Or is Haiti, is it kind of like the Dominican Republic? Is it a part of the?
So yeah, you've got permission from their government, and that part where I'm not in all the way yet, I'm not 100% sure, but you've got permission from their government, right? That they're saying, okay, you're doing this op, and that there's a whole nother political side. They've got a team that gets that permission, that you know they're there, and they're kind of around on the outskirts, and they'll do the majority, right? You arrest them, and you're taking these kids out of that situation, and sometimes you're able to adopt them. In fact, that guy who leads it was able to adopt 2 from Haiti.
See, and don't it seem like even maybe you can try? He has way good questions all the time. I love it.
Yeah, right. No, it
But
is.
wait, think about. It seems to me on the outside, but almost on the inside, it's in enough of my family with the law enforcement thing where it's
Yeah.
the regular, not regular public. People don't seem to hear the things I get to hear, the things you beautifully can, hopefully that you feel you can say at certain times.
Right.
People, you're not even going to say on this today what I truly know about you,
Right.
about what you've done and what you've, for other weird reasons. And to me, that's why I have so much respect. So I'm just, hear me out. That's my love and respect and admiration for people of your kind. You folks can't even really talk about it. How tricky is this? All we hear is the negative side of everything about what goes on. We don't hear about this unbelievable heroic thing and these people that will die any second for any human anywhere in the world. Nobody talks about that. Nobody talks about that.
In fact, that's something
We're going to talk about simply you choked a guy out too long. And listen, that shit is horrible. Handle these scenarios, handle them quickly, and accountability. But there's always so much stuff, and all we ever hear about is that. And that just hurts my heart, man.
Yeah.
Them instances that I don't speak of them, I don't even know anything about them. But handle them, it's done. You don't.
Right.
Don't start burning our city down because of it.
No, and that's the thing, right?
We don't hear the positive side of what you guys are all about.
And the one that you're even referring to, my belief, right? So there's actually, I'm glad actually you just said that. So there's something that occurs that most people don't know. So my personal belief, right, it would piss a lot of people off, but I believe that gentleman would have died anyway. So there is something that the police academy actually teaches you. I know about it, right, from having a bachelor's of science, being a paramedic and an OPN nurse.
Yeah.
It's called excited delirium. Excited delirium is actually a super, in fact, it wasn't known about till just a few years ago. And what happens is when you've done a lifetime of stimulants, meth, cocaine, crack, you get this weird, when you go into custody and all of a sudden you ran or you put up a fight, what's happened is your reserve of good blood becomes so short that all of a sudden just having your hands behind your back, your heart is going so fast, not because of what just happened, but because you've had 20 years of a stimulant, right? And now your heart, your vasculature is not the same. You don't have a healthy heart anymore, right? Now you're
it's
45.
scary to a regular person.
Holy
it is.
cow.
You're immediately, I feel
Right,
that.
so you've got your endorphins, your catecholamines that are up, and so you've stimulated now a heart that's had 20, 25 years of illicit drug use, bad stuff that's tearing your insides up.
Yeah.
What happens is all of a sudden when they fight, and all of a sudden you stop that fight instantly, there's this weird phenomenon in excited delirium where the heart's so stimulated and all of a sudden you stopping it because it's used to that stimulation all the time, it'll stop. And so there's a number one reason they call them in custody deaths, right? All of a sudden you put a guy in the back of a cop car and they open the door and he's dead and you've done nothing. And it comes back to their choice of 25 years of stimulant use. And so I think that major one that everyone got mad at was an excited delirium case that no one's just really looked into.
Yeah.
right? And then even his blood showed stimulants. And so there's this very odd thing that occurs that no one in the public and even the cops didn't talk about it for a long time. I was really, again, impressed. The police academy in 2012, they had a phenomenal chapter on excited delirium, where don't put these guys cuffed behind the back. If they're super hot, cool them down, dump water on them, let them drink water, call fire, see if they can get their heart rate down with medication.
Sure.
Instead of aggravating them, tasing them, talk simply. Don't overwhelm them with 10 guys. Get 2 or 3. Talk really small. Get them to sit down. And sometimes you're able to.
Well, and don't lean on their neck for 9 fucking minutes either. So
Right.
that was absolute ridiculous as
Yeah.
well.
And
So there's
that's the other thing that didn't help. If he's hot and you put him down on the cement because he's already hot from the stimulant use, you kind of, spike a fever,
sure.
which is also, detrimental to someone that's had, again, that stimulation for 25 years of illicit drug use, and he's got a bad heart now, and, he's on 110-degree asphalt. Get him in the car, get him cooled off as quick as you can, and that's the one that bugs me the most. I don't know if just the handcuffs alone would have done it. In my belief, yes. But I think the problem with that one is he was in the car and just kicking the car. So they pulled him back out, and I don't know why. I just would have left him in the car, turned the AC on, call for fire, put some water on his head,
Power.
and left him in the car.
Let's not power assertion, right? Don't
Yeah.
you be kicking my car, man. There's pick your battles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
To me, it's whatever.
It is,
City's
though.
gonna have to fix the car, whatever.
There's
I'm leaving him in,
problem,
right? Like,
If you're on camera and you're leaning on someone's neck for 9 minutes, you're going
Yeah.
to prison. You're a shit cop. That's ridiculous.
right,
But
right,
some of these others, I don't know them all. It's not my thing. I'm not speaking on any of them. I just know the people I do know, and I know the things I
Yeah.
know. I know of all good.
right.
Just what I know. What I see on the news is what I see on the news. I don't even watch the news anymore because of it.
It's
But-
too hard.
It's all, I think every officer I've ever spoken to is always so eye for an eye. Like, no, that's absolute ridiculous.
Right,
Handled.
right.
A, B, C, handled.
Yep.
I don't feel this unbelievable, let's hide everything from law enforcement. I don't
No.
feel that, man. From the ones
No.
I've spoken with, we've had several on the show, and it's always so wide open about things. And,
Right.
I don't know, man. It's really tricky.
No, and like you just said it, right? We want it transparent too.
What's up, Jay?
I was just gonna say, I think while the media, I think in 2021, I think a lot of us know that a lot of things, it's a business, right? The media is a business. They need people to watch their shit. So in order to watch their shit, they need to come with the most worst story ever, right? I'm only 30 fucking 1, and I know that. You know what I mean? So I think that a lot of it is accountability of people, right? We need to hold ourselves accountable. The information that I put in myself that's on me, right? If I feel a certain way I hate tomatoes, but I fucking experience tomatoes. You know what I mean? Like that is, but I love tomatoes in certain things, right?
Sure.
It's kind of like the, when you talk about stories, the good stories, why aren't we hearing the good stories about cops? That's accountability piece on us, right? You said it on here. We've had plenty of cops on this show, officers on the show, and it's like, I go and tell my friends, yo, you got to check out this dude, Alfonso. You got to go check out these other, these are officers that are telling you stories about what they go through and just different things. And I think that, in order for those stories to get out, we have to have that accountability piece to really tell those good stories and tell the bad too. Like if some bullshit happened,
Absolutely.
tell that bullshit.
Absolutely.
It's we have to tell our stories and our experiences.
I think you're killing it, and that's it. I don't.
Yeah.
And I could care less. I don't ever want to be misrepresented where somebody thinks I think something. I speak wide open of how I feel.
Sure.
And all I do know, I think you nailed
that's
that,
okay.
where all we do speak is of the ones we do know. And nobody knows if you knew every second of my life, you might be like, hey, who knows? But man, what I know of all you people are so incredible. And you don't really know anything about anybody, but my experiences with every one of you people have been absolutely amazing. And I see nothing but great, and I'm certain we're all it's just amazing, the absolute scrutiny you guys are under 29 hours a day. It scares the shit out of me, man.
Yeah. Well,
Nobody's
like
going to want to be an officer. Then we're really going to be in trouble.
Like I said, the job's incredible. It sounds corny, right? But you get into it really to change someone's life. and it's easy to do, right? Take out a lady's garbage after you're there because she called 911.
Right.
End up, oh, okay, she thought there was a burglar, or you know, maybe you're there on a medical call and you're there to help and make sure everything's okay, and you go above and beyond, and that's the stuff that makes the job even more special, right? She was making a joke. Hey, you didn't need us, but is there anything else I can do for you? And it's, oh, my garbage is kind of full, and you know, she's 80 years old and can barely stand, and it's icy outside. Oh, okay. Oh, no, I was just kidding. No, I got this.
But your
Right?
admin's like
You know?
always they're scared. Like, don't do anything because something could.
Well, they tell you.
They've automatically set this up. Like, just do the minimum, get out.
They want to tell everyone in the public, oh, no, they go above and beyond. And they use that as a thing for admin to look good and the city to look good. But then really, yeah, right, they're on you
Yeah.
for it. And it's like, you can't have that both ways. You
Sure,
know? And
sure.
And when you talk accountability, I can't agree more, right? And it's kind of like these families that are suing, you know, drug companies for doctors giving someone some pain meds, right? Some of them I understand you shouldn't have given them that many pills, right? When you're giving out 150 pills a month for 2-3 years, that seems excessive. However, right, when someone takes it too far and there's no accountability on themselves, we want to sue the doctor, but there's some accountability of you not facing a problem of saying, dude, I'm addicted, I need help.
Yeah.
And instead, you know, we just want to sue the next guy, and there's no accountability for that action, right? And so society has a huge problem right now of someone else's fault.
Simple accountability is what it said.
Yeah, you know, sorry.
Own your shit.
Extreme ownership, right? And
But it's easier to go after whoever it is, and
whoever's got deep pockets.
they don't want to talk, so they're just going to hurry and.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
In fact, there's nuisance lawsuits that cities set up,
It's tricky, man.
and they'll have a whole bunch of them that's like, oh, this guy's complaining, just give him 2,000-3,000, make him
Just
go
shut
away.
them up. We don't want to do this.
Yeah. I mean,
See, that's sad.
it's sad.
It's
right?
tricky, but I see the waste of money the other way too. It's like, what do you do, man?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Right.
We do this. We just have our short little interactions, and
Yeah.
we dig for. I hit as hard as I can with what I can, and I feel
Lots of talk, like, and
it's healthy.
Jay said it too, right? You show the good and the bad, you know. But like I said, like honestly, I know of one personally of everyone that I know only one that has a power struggle trip, and to me, I think that says a lot. You know,
How many do you know? It's unbelievable. You're all the same. You all know all of them.
Guys from Manaway, Logan, Box Elder, you know, all the way down to St.
Hundreds
George.
and hundreds.
You know, and everywhere in between. You know, guys you went to post with, guys I went to medic school with, guys that, you know, SWAT school with, right? Police academy, guys that, you know, family friends, you know, guys that are military, friends from high school, right? It starts expanding. It's a small world. And so, yeah, you do know a lot. And I'm not bullshitting you. There's one that I know that's got a power struggle that's like, I don't know how they've had a career, and I wish they wouldn't have.
And you
but
think
to
with
have
all
one.
the shit we see in here, there would be so many.
Yeah.
You know, and it's I don't know, man.
But everyone else I know is true in their heart, just want to.
What else you got?
No.
You're holding it.
Yeah, well, I was
He's
just gonna
holding
say, like, I've been sitting here listening, and you're like, you know, we have the officers that have the cameras, right, on both their person, and they have it on the car. They have a whole PR team, a whole media team. Why don't they have their own media? Why don't these organizations, I don't know what to call it, departments, whatever you want to call it, why don't they have their own media team? They have all the facts, right? When Sam Gill brings them to the fucking
What do you
court,
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean?
What I mean is they have all the facts. They have the cameras. They have the reports from all the other officers, people that are involved. There's so many fucking reports that are had.
Right.
Why don't they have their own media? So when a big case happens, I'm not saying you need it on a traffic stop, unless that traffic stop turns into a big thing. But
Right.
I think that because when you're saying the media covers these things and they tell the story and they manipulate and say it a certain way, it's like those are the big stories that happen. We don't hear about just Dre getting pulled over for going 25 over, but we hear about the ISIS cartel, whatever you want to call it,
Right.
And things like that, because they have the facts, right? And when I say the facts, they have the body cam footage, they have the cars, they have the reports from what happened that night. Why don't they tell their own story and just show the public? Because when I see it, when Sam Gill has the press conference and he's going through the video and he's going frame by frame, account for account, it's like, okay, now I get the whole story. I see both sides. I see what's going on. And I feel like that can be done more often without the media.
So that's actually, all right, so you brought up an awesome point.
That's dope as hell.
So that last one he did, right, is the first one that I've agreed with him on. And how, like you said, he had it frame by frame from, right, business surveillance to the 4 or 5 officers, dash cam, body cam, all the cameras that were available, right? And they did go frame by frame. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking you're probably talking about the guy who actually dropped his gun 3 times. And, right, he goes back to pick it up.
Well, I'm not talking like specifically to any.
Okay.
I'm just saying in general, because when we're talking about the media, of course the media is going to highlight and make whoever they want, whether if it's a cop situation or a business owner situation,
Sure.
they're going to make that person look like evil, right? Because they need to sell that
They
story,
will sell, yeah.
right? But if we had all the facts, right? If I had a podcast, I mean, I have a podcast, of course.
Yeah,
I
you
do.
have several of them.
Yeah. But if a story came out and they said that I said something but I didn't, right? I can go to my podcast footage and be like, look, here's the facts. This is what was said. This is the context, right? And I feel like that can be done on so many levels for law enforcement, for really any business owner, right? I don't know.
I think you're right. I think what I'm picking out of that, I think in a different way to even say it, simply, maybe more simple. I think what you're getting at is real, where it's what the world is hearing and why the hype for all the negativity and come after law enforcement anyways. All they do hear, either big drug guys go down, bang, that's the only story they hear, or big cop killed guy.
Right.
They don't hear about the 10 million other things where if they truly wanted to, they could just go listen to a day of an officer. Is that's how I kind of took what you were saying, where it's,
I mean, they can, right? They could tell both stories.
you could see they could get more of just it
So-
all instead of just all really good or all really shit. There's no kind of like in between.
Yeah. So the last one Sim Gill did was the most impressive that I've seen, where he did do a very good job and told a full story. But, it was a year later. And so the first problem you have is cases that are being litigated in wrongful death or certain things that by Utah's Constitution, right, you can't release information until ABCDEFG is done.
Yeah.
And so first you're limited until everything's accounted for. So you're restricted by the law to some degree. And then second, it comes down to the department of them saying, hey, we want this released or not. There have been a few of them that they felt we need to release this within a week because the cop didn't do anything wrong. And it's pretty clear what happened. And when they do a fast investigation and they're confident that the media and the public is going to agree with that, then they've been a little bit faster to kind of release that. Yeah.
See, so I feel the other side of people too, where they're like, fuck, man, we don't know anything other than what you're letting us know. That's tricky for the people that are skeptical of what you guys do.
So
I feel that.
There we go back to
That's
right.
tricky.
Admin, risk management. They're so
Yeah.
afraid of the legal system and politicians. And so when you say, what else do you do to fix it? Other than this has been talked about for a long time, right? There's kind of an ebb and flow too, right? There's a pendulum that swings where it's anti-cop. And then it comes back because everyone backs off. And then crime gets out of control and everyone freaks out and says, well, where's all the cops? So it's done this since the 70s in almost a predictable way.
Gotcha.
But this has never been like this. One, because the media's never been like this. And number two, the politicians have never been so about protecting their name and their power, right? That I feel the level of corruption has never been higher than where it is now as far as politicians.
Which I feel like it always has been. It's never been easily distributed.
Yeah,
Where we're-
sure.
You know what I mean? It's like this is
I
a
would agree.
problem that I believe is rapes and all these There's never been so many I call bullshit. I think
Yeah.
it's because we now know.
We just have more
because
access to info.
It's Yeah.
Yeah,
So it's
I
like
agree.
we got to control this information thing a little
Yeah.
better.
Yes, that's
I don't know how we even do that. I don't even know, claim to even know, but that seems to me be the core problem of every one of these problems.
yeah.
People are people, always have been. We're not going to change. We're getting smarter. We're getting faster, and information is like this.
It's just true, right?
So
And
it's just we react to everything is that quick as well.
absolutely.
There's no thought process behind anything. It's like he's fucking
No, you're right, and that's
very tricky, man.
like he said, right? It's almost kind of like every once in a while, right? KSL or just any local media, right, needs to just highlight the day of a cop, and you will hear every once in a while, stories from like Shop with a Cop around Christmas time, or that you will hear every once in a while, but not what it could be.
Sure.
And it is kind of weird, right? Sometimes SimGill will release something very fast, and sometimes, like I said, it's 2 or 3 years later. And
But there's reasons for all
there's
of
reasons
these
for
things.
that, and
Yeah.
usually it's political, right? I mean, he's in an election year, things were released way faster,
Sure.
and he's not very known to be pro cop. So when he releases a video that fully exonerates these officers, and he did a good job, like I'm referring to the last one where all the footage shows this guy that possible murder suspect. He had armed robbery of 2 places that night, and on the second one, cops see that he's matched a description. Cop says, "Hey, sir, can I talk to you?" And he starts running. Right. Well, he shoots back as he's running. He shoots first, and I'm not sure what time he gets hit in the chase, but multiple cops start chasing him. They have footage of every time he drops his gun, he turns back and picks it up. And so why would you do that if you're just trying to get away for your life? Right? If I'm trying to get away and I don't want to get shot, I'm just not going to pick up that gun. Right? For one, they see me with a gun, they're going to shoot me. But you want to, there you go,
It's simple.
premeditation harm
Yeah.
to either cops, or I'm going to keep on with armed robbery. And oddly, SimGill came to that same conclusion. Was the only reason he would go back for it 3 times, and it was caught on everyone's camera, the businesses, all cops, and he keeps shooting, right? And the whole hoopla of it was the media was mad that they shot him because he was laying on the ground still shooting, but he was laying on the ground
Holy hell.
and he's still shooting. So
See, I don't know the story.
two or three open up,
I get frustrated with all that.
and he gets popped, right? And the media, they didn't need to shoot him 10 times. Well, he got hit once or twice while he was running. Got hit once or twice the second time he picked it up.
It's
The third time takes him down. And so, there's 4 or 5 shots, and then he shoots again. And so now you have 3 guys that are pretty close, and they all shoot, 2 more. And it wasn't excessive. I mean, I'm surprised he only had 3 guys. When you're getting shot at, they could have each emptied their mag of 16 each, right? He could have had 30.
Sure.
But, the media wanted all of their heads. And like I said, his press conference was actually impressive, that he pretty much showed, look, for all those naysayers, here it is. And for someone who's known to be not very pro-cop,
Yeah.
it was kind of refreshing. And I thought a year to compile that evidence with that sensitive a case in the media nowadays, I thought was actually pretty decent. A lot of times you're getting, right, 5-6 years before you're getting the case details out.
Correct me, either one of you, if this sounds weird, but it almost seems to me everybody does have such a quick voice now. It almost feels to me in my heart that this is just how I feel, man. People that react quickly, that start, that protest, that are loud, that do these things, truly, to me, seem to have the least information of all.
Totally agree.
So people that are hyping and getting super worked up and going against and fight, it almost never seems as if the facts are actually the guy that says the least in the room is the most intelligent man, and he's thinking.
Right.
Listen
He's
to a
listening.
Jordan Peterson. He'll sit and he'll listen to you, and then
Yeah.
come back with this unbelievable. It seems as if lack of information is the opposite of that, where it's like, now fuck the cops or whatever. He this, he that. I don't know, man. I've always thought, well, I didn't hear anything on the other side of this at all. But I don't. That's why I'm against media as far as I don't want. We haven't watched the news in 2 years.
Right.
It's not allowed in my home. We do not. There's only
It's
one
awesome.
rule in my house. We don't watch the news. It's horrible for this show
I like
oftentimes because I'm not very up on current events.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm up on music, current events. I don't care about the news. It scares me. There's never anything positive.
No.
So that's all I'm saying is I figure I don't know anything about anything. I'm just going to speak to knowledge. But all I do know is it seems as if to me, if that sounds correct to you, it almost seems, obviously you would probably support that, but
Yes.
I like people that don't support anything and want to argue with me, and that's fine. But
Sure.
because I want to
That
be
makes
proved
it fun.
wrong. I want to be saying, like, no, actually it's this way, and I respect that.
Sure.
But I swear to you,
Me too.
anybody that stands up and then is going to, in a really aggressively one way or the other, not follow and listen, doesn't know the information.
So
No, it's this way. The guy, let's be independent. Let's think about that. Why are you doing that?
Alright.
What is
you again, you've hit it on the head, right?
Okay.
So in the riots in Salt Lake City that happened in June or July. So I was there for about 16 hours. And one thing that the media won't talk about is that our rig that was there was shot anywhere between 9 and 11 times.
with bullets?
Firearms, yeah. So they actually refused to report it.
Yeah, I didn't hear about
We've
that.
actually met with them and they refused to report it, which is really odd to me, right? The other thing people don't know is when KSL actually had 2 reporters with a live feed, and they're walking around in the middle of this, which, in fact, one that I've done a segment with before, she's actually attractive gal from Fox 13's walking these streets, and they start pushing her around and kind of beating her up. And my first thought was like, why the hell are you there? These people have zero information, but every single person that both of the reporters, right, one from Fox, one from KSL, hitting the streets, had asked, why are you here? Not one of them knew why. Not one. It was just, to be anarchists, right? Now you had organizers, and that's the other thing that bugs me is this was paid for by out of state. That one in Salt Lake, out of state funding. And here's what I mean. So, right, to have the organization of having multiple deliveries of pallets of bricks were delivered throughout the day around the federal courthouse, Sim Gill's office, the Capitol, and I'm missing one, the federal building where police headquarters would be. So pallets throughout the day are delivered of bricks just randomly. And I'm not saying like these drivers of Home Depot knew. They're just kind of like, I'm instructed to leave this on this corner.
It's weird. I wonder why
Okay.
these are here.
It's weird, right? And no one noticed it until that night. And now it's like, oh, that's why. And every window that could be reached with a brick was smashed on all 3 of those buildings. And that's why, right? And then they identified people in van loads that were coming from the Salt Lake City airport and coming out. I mean, you're talking flights from pretty far away that came into here. So this wasn't just some local hyped up thing, right? This was a bought and paid for with some people with some money that have come into Little Salt Lake, which had nothing to do with anything,
Right.
has actually had a very good track record with officer shootings. And Utah in general, right, kind of sticks to itself. And all of a sudden you have an organization that's paying for anarchy. But it was super interesting. In fact, that the Fox 13 one had to hurry and get out of there. And I actually was a little concerned, right? I actually have had an interaction with her quite a bit. And just me seeing her there was like, it blew my mind because I saw how hatred-filled it was. I mean, it was just anarchy, just for the point of being anarchy. And the mayor at the time kept saying, oh, let them vent. Let them vent what? There's a difference between venting and me and you having a heated conversation and burning a cop car, trying to kill people. I mean, there was a protester who was, African-American that was stabbing a bunch of other BLM guys. And it was like, what? I mean, we're there helping, I actually helped a guy who was stabbed and he was there wanting me dead 10 minutes ago. And it's like, one of your guys is in your own movement stabbed you, not me. And now I'm here trying to help you. Right? Like, how bizarre. And I
Right.
just hope that guy's mind changed now, knowing, right, dude, I'm here helping you when your buddy stabbed you just to be out of control. And it was bizarre to me that the news agencies won't report that, yeah, we were shot at, that it was a planned thing, and they don't want to touch it. They just want to talk about, well, cops are doing this at this time, and we really don't know what's going on. And they put a ton of nothing into their story, right? There was nothing said in their whole segment, right? You wouldn't know anything else from the start of it to the end of it other than, yep, there's riots here.
It was the same 15, 20 shots all day long, all night long of the chaos. It was the same loop
Yep.
of stuff. And I happened to tattoo 57 of you people that
No shit.
I heard things, and I'm going, why is this nobody talking about this?
Yeah.
Why-
Yeah.
What's up here? And I've heard the same story, and so I don't understand. I guess I don't understand why we can't, why that's not
Why we
spoken
can't talk about it, right? I agree, and that's where tort reform, right? There's just too many prosecutors, judges that are in on corrupt shit, and even our local media, right? And again, Dre hit it. They want to sell that, but I think people are sick of that negative. Not you, right? There's nothing
Absolutely.
positive. I'm sick of that shit. So I'm not going to watch, right? Let's see what was it? The Tribune, right? Didn't they just stop printing? There's a reason they're only going to online only now as of last week, and they are very
Did
anti.
you know that? Did you hear about? Do you know about? He's super.
Yeah.
He's a current. He's with
He's
his
in the
job.
current-
He's
Yeah, I
very
heard about that.
very relevant.
That's why it's happening.
Yeah, I think that. Did you hear about the Jersey City Police in New York? They had zero in the year of 2020. They had 0 officer involved shootings.
You mean after the new police chief took over, right? And he ended up having 3 core values.
Zero.
And
Zero.
That
That's
is a
what was-
place of unbelievable violence too. I've been there.
I don't know what the flip side of that is, but that's what was reported, was that they went through de-escalation. They had some type of campaign for de-escalation, and it was reported that they had 0 officer-involved shootings in New York, New Jersey.
And if that's real, that's beautiful. It's beautiful if that's real. That'd be great. But
Yeah.
let's be practical. And that doesn't even seem like it's even close to possible. But I'm not saying it just seems weird.
yeah,
That's cool.
He's referring to a chief who actually got put in pretty young, and he had some core principles that were. One of them was kind of involve the community more, right? But also focus on the good, right? In fact, one of my best buddies here, he was told no, that you couldn't go play basketball with this kid. So long story short, this kid and his dad, he's in an abusive relationship, but he finally stabs his dad. And, my buddy's got to take him to juvie. He says, well, why are you doing this? He goes, well, he beats me. He goes, so have you ever told anybody? No. So my buddy finally makes a report that this is why this happened. Everyone's calling this teen a piece of shit. And really he's living a hell.
For longer
and-
than anybody even realizes.
Probably even knows or realizes. And he has an awesome thought. And he says, well, what do you like to do? If you could just do something all day and it would take your mind off stuff, what would it be? He goes, I love just shooting hoops, just free throw line and seeing how many I can do. 100, practice layups. I could play basketball 9 hours a day. And he made the mistake of asking his admin, hey, can I, if I'm on patrol and there's nothing going on, he's actually in a crazy slow area. And I'm talking 1, 2, 3 calls maybe in a 12-hour period. He did the mistake of asking admin, can I go shoot ball if there's nothing going on? They tell him no. What would make such a difference in this kid's life having
That
a positive role model?
would've
And
been-
he would have thought so differently of cops.
Absolutely.
And he would have had almost a mentor that says, hey, man, don't stab your dad next time. You call 911. You record this going on. Let's get your recorder. You call 911. Tell them this is what's going on. You run away. And
But we-
help us get some evidence.
And we feel your pain. Like it.
Right.
It almost makes sense right?
And they're told no. And this is the stuff of why, I'm struggling to stay in. Like I said, because of that right there, that's something that there's opportunities like that all the time.
Right.
And we're told no. And it's like, this is the stuff that people, Lil Wayne, right? The rapper has a story of how this white officer saved his life one day when all his little gangbanger
You know that
homies.
story? He's nodding, yeah. I don't
You
know
know?
the story.
Yeah, he gets shot in the stomach when he's hanging out. He's pretty young. He's only like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
And right? And he gets shot, and his gangbanger homies all leave. This cop by himself goes in.
The scariest neighborhood ever, probably.
Yeah, big white guy by himself.
Only
no
white
backup.
guy.
Serious, right? In a way dangerous situation.
Sure.
Everyone kind of scatters off. People that he thought were friends. And this cop goes in there and hurry tries to pack his wound, throws him in the car, drives him to the hospital fast, saves his life.
I didn't know that story.
He visits him through rehab, through physical therapy, says, what can I do to keep you out of this life? And they're still in contact. And he says, this white guy, as a cop, changed my life and saved me, not just physically, but socially and later in life, or I'd be dead, right? I would have been carrying a gun in 2 weeks, wouldn't have gone through physical therapy, and I would have picked up a gun and been shot within a year or two.
Wouldn't have been the biggest rapper on the planet.
And now, yeah, and it wouldn't have his life, and he recognizes that. And he talks
never
about
heard
it
that
multiple
story.
times. Oh, it's actually kind of amazing.
It's great. That's cool.
And he, everyone kept saying he was going to get heat, right? Coming out as, going to vote for Trump and
Pro
being
this,
pro
pro
law
that.
enforcement, and
Yeah.
everyone kept saying, "Oh, it's going to hurt him," and it hurt shit, right? There's still positive people that are going to listen to him and support him, and I don't listen to a ton of rap, but if I do, I listen to him because of his story, because
See?
of who he is, right?
Yeah. And it's hard to hate it. It would be hard to push hard against him with them being just simple fact. These are facts, bro. This dude saved my life. Call me whatever you want, pro whatever, but this is cool shit. What's wrong with that?
That's the thing, right?
That's
What if that was
beautiful.
you? It is. What if that was me, right?
Yeah.
It'd be like, yeah. How do you judge him? Oh, you're not anti-cop. You don't want him to die. No, I actually been saved by one.
See, it always seems to go the simple way. It's like, nope, it's something. It'll as simple as it's a black-white issue. Bang, it's easy to go one way and it's over.
Right.
And people just go ape shit. It's like, what are the facts, dude? Like,
Right.
what's happening? It's sad to me, man.
It is because
But I don't know.
I don't just instantly go into the race baiting, right? It's not that way, and there's a certain narrative that gets pushed by certain media that's why this happens. No, and then again, facts back that up, right? I mean, more white people are shot by cops. If there was this integrated racism that all law enforcement have, right? I think last year there was 11 unarmed black men that were shot. There was like 56 white men that were unarmed
Here?
that were shot. This is national.
Oh, okay.
So, but if you had this integrated racism with law enforcement, you're telling me it'd only be 10? No, it'd be thousands, right? If there was this integrated cops hate minorities, there wouldn't have been 11 unarmed guys shot. There would have been hundreds, if not thousands, tens of thousands, right? If there's just this hateful racism integrated in cops, it wouldn't be 11. Does that make sense? You just have this uncontrollable racism that they want to paint in your picture, that you just have it no matter what because you're a cop. There would be so many just killed if it was just pure hatred and racism. Like, no, you're saying the facts, There's a lot, right? Guy comes out holding a cell phone, want to die suicide by cop, and they throw that in the number. And it's like, no, that was...
It's like COVID. It's
You
like,
know, yeah.
it gets tricky. We start
Right.
throwing things where we, what's up?
I don't know. I think that there's a lot that goes into it, and I think that this is a conversation that, well, it's not going to end in 21, right? There's this
No.
thing that our society, and while we're in the greatest country ever, there is a lot of like shit that needs to be worked out, and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in my lifetime, your lifetime, our kids' lifetime. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it, and for me, as a man, I look at people as people,
Character,
Look,
man.
yeah, like I always go back to Alfonso. Like when you got to listen to that episode if you haven't. But Alfonso's another a gentleman in law enforcement. He tells a story about how there was this creep at the aquatic center, and he was off duty, right? But he noticed this creep. The kids were circling out of the area the kids were at. but this guy never left. So it's like this guy is a creeper, right?
Yeah, sketchy.
This dude's a creeper. And so he made his presence felt. He told that guy he needed to leave, right? And it took to him, Alfonso being the stranger, to look out for all these other people's kids, right? Not because he's a guy in law enforcement, just because he's a good human,
guy.
right? And that's what I look for. That's what I want in the society. And I feel like if you want that in this society, you should be that in this society.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? So when I'm out, I'm looking out for others in many different ways, right? If I see a spill, I just clean it up real quick, right? Right? It's like, it's not just because the guy at Walmart should be doing it. It's like, nah, like that's the right thing to do.
You're right. 100%.
You know, that's what, for me, that's what it comes down to. Yep. But it is tough when you grow up a certain way, or, you know, you have a certain encounter, regardless on what it is. You know, I always go back to the fucking tomato. I had a bad encounter with tomatoes, so I won't fucking try them bitches. But it's very fucking complicated. And for me, it goes back to Sergeant Halbach, who said, "Don't be a fucking dick."
That's what, amen.
There you go. Right.
Yeah, Halbach, we got another one.
Well, even again, sorry. So, like, right, go back to that police academy on first day where they say who should give you a ticket. And he goes, you know what makes that ticket even worse? Is you say, have a nice day. So this lady's rushed. And he actually said, don't say that. He said, first of all,
that's like
you're kind of being a jerk.
Dig.
It's like, yeah, it is. It's throwing salt in that
Halbach
wound.
says it all the time. Don't be a dick.
And all of a sudden I was like, wait a minute, right? So for one, he gave me praise, right? At first day saying, no, man, have some life experience. Just let the lady be. And then he's like, and then all the guys that, you know, because they're trying to teach you to be courteous and have manners, and all of a sudden,
I truly meant it though.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
Nice
right.
day.
Totally did. Yeah, have a nice day. After I just, you know,
wrote you a fucking $1,000.
Yeah, right. Wrote you a
God.
$150 ticket for doing 10-9 over, right? Like horseshit.
Right.
And so it was funny that the major of public safety is saying, don't say that kind of shit if you're gonna write someone a ticket. Say, okay, you know, be safe, you know, wear your seatbelt or nothing, but don't throw a dig in there, even though everyone's like, well, that's not a dig. And he's like, yeah, it is. And it was kind of funny, right? This is one of the highest people in law enforcement in the state saying, wait a minute. And so, like I said, I had a phenomenal experience with him at the top of the police academy because he did get it, right? Yeah, you take care of bad guys, but there's life, and you guys are a guardian of life. And that's one thing that does make America versus other countries different, right? We do have an appreciation of life, and we value life, and we can't lose that, right? If you're mad because you're an anti-law enforcement organization just because they're law enforcement, right? It's kind of funny, right? That actress Alyssa Milano, biggest anti-law enforcement there is, but when some Antifa guys broke down her gate, you know, she's in the background, call the police, and it's like, ooh, right? You've gone out there, you spent money, like, right? Like,
right. You're like, what?
Weird if no cops show up, right? You've been out there saying how they should all die and there should be no cops, and all of a sudden someone breaks into your security gate because you live a posh lifestyle, and now you're begging for cops. Weird, you know?
And I think that's a very human, natural first thing.
Absolutely.
Anytime there's an issue, it's always, we are going to rush to the phone. We're going to call. You're going to do that. We're taught that from a very, very young age. And
right.
So it is so simple to me, the absolute impact this little stuff has. I think even if it's reaching, I don't even care how many people, however many people feel this. And they're like, when you just do the right thing out of your heart, 24 hours a day, I think that is just the most impact we can possibly make.
Just do the right thing, right?
Don't listen to nothing you're told. Listen to everything you're told. That's fine.
Right.
But know what's up, man. Don't.
Yeah.
If I can tell you right now, I'm an astronaut. Man, maybe just question that a tick. If you give a shit, right? It's like everybody just believes.
Boom.
It's a color thing. It's a this thing. It's a bad cop thing.
No.
Man, if you really care, dig into it. Don't join a huge ass group and go protest and burn our
don't
city.
even know why, right? Yes.
Whatever all that is. I know there's way more to everything, but
maybe.
Don't even believe that what you're seeing on the TV is correct, fellas. Let's
have
check
some
everything.
Questions. Totally. Some questions, right?
Just please don't ever stop. Be you. Don't ever get out of this shit. You guys are so amazing. And Utah, I say it every time. We always talk about it. I think our law enforcement in Utah, I believe we are second to none as far. I don't know stats. I don't know anything. but I know so many police officers from a little wide range. Man, our people here are so good. We're good.
agree,
I
man.
don't feel racism here. I don't have the shit in my heart, so I don't even think about it.
Neither do I.
Everybody has their own
honestly.
thing.
Sure.
I think it's bullshit.
I
Look at my life. Look at people in my life. It'll scream to you. I've been also called it many times.
which is
Look at my producer. Look at my daughter.
I
Look
know, right?
around you before you go talk
Before
in
you
your
say
fucking
that.
mouth.
35-year-old white man. What are you talking about?
Covered in tattoos, bald head. He's fucking racist.
skinhead. Yeah.
My daughter
You're
is-
racist, right?
I have minority.
Yeah.
There's no
Right?
such thing.
No.
Whoever's talking this manifests it. They are the people, in my opinion. This is my asshole opinion. They are the problem.
There you go.
Speak of it. It is in your brain.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it.
Right.
Don't give it any life. Move on.
Life, right.
Alfonso is another minority.
Yeah.
He's like, man, don't talk about it. Quit making it live.
Quit making it. Yes.
You're fucking breathing.
You're giving it
this.
power, right?
It is sad, bro.
You're giving
But
it
I
power.
see it the other way too. I'm not in any of this. But I almost feel like the one always getting attacked. Like I'm always getting shit. Like I'm some bad
so
guy.
crazy. No,
Like
right?
man, I'm a
Just a
man.
dude,
Yeah,
right?
but-
But don't just because you're not seeing it doesn't mean it doesn't happen, because
Absolutely.
it does. I've been a victim of being called definitely racist slang
Right.
that isn't okay with me. You know
And
what
it
I mean?
shouldn't
So
be.
and
Yeah, sure.
you know, it definitely does happen, but you know, again, live what you want, right? Junior, you are a testament of that. You want you want to spread positive energy, and that's what you do.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we need. We need
it.
people to do that and give people opportunities to tell their story, like all the officers, like other people that might not even be an officer. You know, tell your story, tell your truth, and you know, for the people that listen, really listen and don't be sheep. Like, think for yourself. That's what it comes to. Think for your fucking self.
Dude, don't
Independent,
be
man.
sheep. That's it. Well, and you said it too, right? I mean, that's impressive for you to say that you see a spill at Walmart. How many people actually will walk past that spill and just not care about it? But the fact that you say, hey, I'll hurry and do that because that's what is a good thing to do, that's the kind of stuff that everyone needs to think about, right?
That was
And-
a poor example. I hate Walmart.
No, I well,
I'm just fucking with you.
I was going to say, yeah, that was bad because you were at Walmart, but
There's spills everywhere at Walmart.
It's such a concept
you must have been there like for 12 hours if you were picking up being custodian.
because they keep their shit really
You know,
clean.
yeah. So, but
It's a
how
simple.
simple though, right? That example though is a good example because that just shows good character, right? The kind of stuff that the military would instill. In fact, something that the police academy talked about. If you're walking through somewhere, you pick up garbage, not just when you're on duty, just as a person. And I thought that was interesting.
There's a science behind it, bro.
Totally right. You open the door for
Reciprocation
everybody.
is a
You
thing.
know, you don't take the elevator. You save that for people that are in wheelchairs, right? Even if you're going 10 stories, you take the stairs. It was kind of funny. People would get their ass kicked if they saw them not open the door for someone, or they walked over some napkins that were just in the grass, because there's always someone watching, evaluating you all the time.
Sure.
And they call it kind of the integrity test, right? They'll even ask you, you know, hey, did you do your 150 jumping jacks? Oh, I sure did. I let a guy counting you 100, so we're gonna need to talk, and then you're also gonna PT for like 3 hours. You know? So I mean, they have that integrity test, right? In fact, whether it was the police academy or SWAT school, I would always do 5 extra. Like, okay, I heard him say
Someone's
100.
fucking watching me.
I heard 100. I better do 110. You know, and then if you do too much, they're like, oh, you're showing off? Nope, just making sure I hit 100, sir. I swear. Like, right? But the fact that they're checking you on a simple integrity test of how many push-ups or jumping jacks you did, right? Again, it showed where they were going in their direction of honesty,
You are.
integrity,
We are watching you, and we need. Yeah.
right? And again, Major Sorensen just phenomenal job with him at the. Just impressed of what he was teaching cops to be like, and just do good stuff, right? Both on and off duty, you know, and cleaning up the
Alfonso,
spill,
his stories,
you know?
same thing.
Yeah,
Always doing the right thing, man.
just no matter what, right? Even if you know in your heart, your gut, your head that it's the right thing, just do it.
Do
Right?
it.
It's the right thing, and I don't know how you're gonna ever get attacked for it, right? And the world of hypotheticals that admin gives back or your risk manager, it's like, what if you change in that tire and a T-Rex comes out and eats the lady? I mean, that's how crazy they're getting.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And they're like, oh, well, then I'll pull out my AR and shoot that mofo. I don't know. Like, let's not, like, we're not in these worlds of hypothetical. This is real people's lives. And you taking out the garbage, right? The lady remembers that. You playing basketball with that kid. These are things that cops need to do, that firemen need to do. And that's what gets trust in the community all the time. Little things.
And I say you keep
we're
doing
handcuffed.
them regardless of repercussion, because that speaks so much louder than, okay, we're gonna do it.
No bullshit. I was warned last week of something super similar, of going above and beyond, and
That's what it says right on the door too of your cars.
right. And I'm just like, okay, but that's just me. I don't know how I cannot do that. Right. Like, I don't know how.
Fire me. I
You know,
took the garbage
yeah.
out. Fire me.
Right. That's why I was like, wait till that gets out, you know, because there's gonna be 10 apartments.
You
that are
want to
like,
talk? That's chaos.
Come
That's
here, you know.
yeah. That's pissed
Yeah.
off people there.
It's
Yeah.
really it comes down to like everything is a business, right? So I kind of see it their way too, because
Sure.
they have to protect their asset, right?
Sure.
You're their asset, right? And when it's a moral call, right? There is no morals with business. It is you need to follow the
true.
rule that you signed up for.
It seems
It sucks,
It
man.
seems lack of always doing the right thing has got us to this point. Though
I actually agree
that's
with
how
some
I
of that.
feel. That's why I left my job that I left. I haven't spoke to you in a while. We haven't
Yeah,
talked to you
no,
for a while.
man. I heard.
I left there from
Yeah, I
here.
heard.
From here. An
love it.
unbelievable salary, an
I love it.
unbelievable amount of, you don't even want to talk about perks and all this shit.
Dude,
it
I
ain't
love it.
about that. It's about life. And I'm like, no, man, this ain't me. You're not hearing me. You're not going to walk on me as a human. And you walked on me the last time. I'm out. He's like, you ain't out.
Dude, I
You
love
need
it.
this. I'm like, I don't need anything, man. I
No,
will do
man.
this again somewhere else.
Yeah,
You're stepping on my pride of a human. And I think that is so powerful.
dude, I love it.
If we all just did that's just all I did was the garbage. It's the same
Yeah.
thing. I just took the garbage out.
Right.
I'm like, man, fuck you. I'm taking out that garbage is all I said to him. And I'm like, you can either leave or get fired. And he said, I'm fucking out of here, man. You don't have the right to fire me.
love it.
And there's so many beautiful things I could have done to make a mess for everybody. And I'm like,
Sure.
it ain't my heart.
Nah.
I could have made a mess for that place.
Probably.
They know who they are. They know the deal I could have done.
Yep.
They sleep on that every night.
Please don't say the name. I don't
won't.
want to edit it.
No more editing. These people know who they are. They know what they've done. They know all the shit it's okay. I will
For real,
never,
right?
when they sleep at night, they feel it. I know they do. And they're going, God damn.
Dude, I got
That's
mad
hard.
respect, man.
People feel that. So as long as everybody in my life will always know all these, that's just heart. I follow it. I don't care what anybody thinks about it. So I think when you guys do that, it's the same thing. And you're like, sir, I took the garbage out. You and you and you, go fuck yourself.
That's
And I will change that tire. And I'm going to do it again.
yep.
I'm sorry. You're going to have to fire me. There's an agency that will hire you just for this.
Yeah.
And my
that's-
agency tended to be right here where I
see, and
need to
that's
be.
that's the thing.
So
that
I think
keep
that's what's
saying.
created this. That's what I believe.
I believe that too.
Business
Dude,
is fuck business. Go make your own.
see, there
Fuck
you
this,
go,
all
man.
whatever it is. Go make your own thing.
See, yep. Dude,
It's
I
sad.
got mad props of that. That's how you are, and that's like I said, right? It's hard to go to work, and way too long, right? From 2012 till now that I sat on talking to somebody, because it's hard when it's not the work and helping people that I'm having a hard time with. It's not the calls, right? I mean, seeing kids shot in the head, seeing kids ejected on the freeway. Someone talking to his wife their last time, right? Watching a football game, and they pass away. It's not that, because we're going to get ready. We're going to go do a good job on the next one. Sad, all that, but I don't associate it with home or anything. And I actually have a skill that way where a lot of guys will be like, man, that chick looks like my wife. Man, that kid's the same age as my daughter, right? Sure. They start associating things, and it starts making a mess in their mind. And I don't do that. And so I could have 6, 7 really intense, horrible calls in a row, and I'll be okay. But I struggle with this admin side, this, you know what, you can be phenomenal at your job, but you're not kissing as much ass, so you're not as important. Yeah, you're an asset here, and you do a good job here, but right now, right, we want a bunch of yes men.
It's business.
The business side of yes men. And that's a struggle. And that's where, like you said, in here, it's like, I love the job. I'm good at it. mostly because I care, but there's a spot where if I care too much and I'm gonna start getting in trouble, maybe I gotta follow this and go something else.
It was
right
back to being the craft I did before as a journeyman lineman for 25 years of my life. God. I'm not saying I'm a great one or a good one, but I'm telling you what.
Bet you knew some shit.
I am a good journeyman lineman.
Yes.
I've given my entire life to it, and they felt the ripple.
I guarantee it.
Just a lot further than right there. That ripple was big.
Dude, just knowing you and how you are.
Never would I want to leave, but it's just one of the things. And it wasn't just because of that. I had this all, I'm doing all this anyway. But it's sad. So I'm not trying to take it my way. I'm just saying, I had the plan to do this craft I'm doing now and all that. But
dude, I love it.
Even if I've quit several companies because of the you will do this or that or this or that. And people don't let anybody own you, man. You do your thing with your heart, and things work out.
That's
so. This I don't know, man.
You said often that like the reason why you got into what you got into was to help people. That's where your heart is at, and it's almost like if you were like you mentioned. I think you said a PT. I think you said a physical trainer, or physician's assistant, a nurse.
Yeah, PA. So I've done
physician's assistant. Mm-hmm. Okay, it seems like you could help and be more satisfied in doing that than the job that you're currently in.
Dude, you just hit it there too, right? I would have probably more power, more ability, less stress, right? That and you're right. There's a ton of crazy stuff you can do. In fact, Air Med, right, the helicopter for the University of Utah, has what's actually called an amputation surgical team that actually can go on the helicopter, and you're with a surgeon and a PA. One of 13 teams in the country that has that capability where, right, what happened a few years ago, there was a stowaway on one of the Union Pacific trains, and it had an I-beam that was metal, and it crushed his legs. And they actually had to fly a surgical team out to the scene and amputate his legs safely and then fly him back up.
Yeah, to get him
and
out of it.
They had this idea of we should have a team that actually can do this, right? And so, I mean, that's massive, right? That's life-changing, but it's still intense, and it's still right there, and it's still raw, and you're still bringing control. As a medic, right, the most fun thing is bringing order to chaos.
Sure.
And even more fun when it's, you're watching over your SWAT buddies that are good dudes, and that they've got, the medic that they trust that should be there. And so it's hard to kind of say, it's hard to kind of leave that because I would always have that worry because there isn't a lot of guys that can do this job. It's crazy unique, right? To keep the physicality, to keep the mindset, to keep the training, to be aggressive, but to also know your place when you don't need to be aggressive, when you need to be a medic, when you need to be an officer, when you need to be SWAT, right? Like so many fine lines and switch into these gears that it takes a unique individual, even just to make through the training, right, is a lot to invest in. And then it's hard. I mean, one of the hardest things ever is becoming, an operator and a medic. That's been the hardest thing I've ever done is getting the two together because it's hard, it's intense.
Sure.
School, easier compared even doing really hard stuff in school. There's nothing like doing some of this shit on the street that is just intensely hard, right? Requires PTSD guys and feeling like you're never going to do enough right, even though you're making a positive impact every day. And it's always weird, right? When you're feeling a little bit down, what's a way that you feel good, right? You go beyond and you take the garbage out.
Or come get tattoo.
Or smoke weed.
Or smoke hella weed.
Or get a tattoo. We'll have to wait till retirement on the second. Have to wait till retirement on a second one. So.
Allegedly can't say that one. Shit.
Yeah, quite. Well, you guys are cool. I'm just, I have randomized, so. And you know what though? Before even becoming a cop, I'd never tried it. So
that's good. I just like to poke cops. It's pretty much. I mean, it's legal, right? Like it's legal for medical use, right?
My wife has her card in Utah.
Yeah, it is.
How does that work for you guys though? Because if you went to a doctor and a lot of you guys have PTSD and they say that this can really help you guys. can you guys still consume your medicine?
So, so there's no agency in Utah right now that would allow it, even for that medical use. In fact, they get a little weird with even testosterone, like low dose, keeping you normal testosterone. They get really weird because it's a Schedule II drug.
There's
which makes
laws
no
in
sense.
place that trump your
Yes.
your own right.
Yeah. Right. You're like I said, you're giving up. It's a family sacrifice. It's a self-sacrifice. I mean, not saying that just because of the weed, but just of everything, the schedule,
Everything, absolutely.
what you have to do, what you give up,
and knowing that when you sign up too.
Sure.
Of course you do. Like you guys are willing and ready to do this, man.
I will say this, there are some cities, I'll also say it, like Las Vegas, their union is so strong that they actually, their union blocks you from testing for it. So even though it's not exactly in their policy that you can do it, but it's restricted in their union policy that they've got pushed through, that they can't test for it unless they are in something that's fatal.
Yeah.
And then, and then I don't know what that would unleash, but so
There's always a way, man.
There is, right? But even like
For everything.
Nevada, it's pretty much legal.
Yep.
And now their union, if you make it to where you can't test to it, I mean, of course.
Look at Portland, every fucking recreational,
All
fucking
drugs.
Everything.
All fucking drugs.
Could you imagine being a cop in Portland right
Like,
now?
what up, dog? You got a heroin. Oh, get him. He's falling over.
Yeah,
He's got a
right.
needle in his arm.
Medic.
Nope. Yep, just call
Holy
fire department.
shit.
Leave that guy alone,
Pretty
wild.
What do you feel about that, bro? I don't want to take it off a track too far. What do you think about legalizing complete legalization of substance? Simply all it does is put 100% accountability right back on these human beings.
Yeah. So
What do we think about that?
yeah, man, I am a hardcore constitutionalist, right? Even before I think as an officer, as a medic, as a firefighter, as a nurse, before I think of anything, right? That's me, is hardcore constitutionalist and people's right. And again, someone's doing that in their house. I don't care, right? Like,
It's funny to hear
You're right,
98% of you people say the same exact thing.
right? Like,
But we have
you're not endangering anybody.
we have all
You're
these
just-
weird things we hear, and I'm like, I don't know any of these cops you guys that I'm hearing all
you're
this
talking
shit about.
right? No. And
Not in Utah. Anyway.
and I think differently about it, right? There's anytime we do something, there's a risk versus benefit.
Sure.
So take it that way in society, right? And there's a lot of people that don't want to admit what studies show. But, for some people, it does cause violence after 30, 40 years of hard use. I'm not talking very recreational, on the weekend, occasional use. But when it's 5, 6, 7 times a day, right, there's studies that it changes brain chemistry so much that it's been shown to prone violence later in life. But that's also right. What other drugs are they doing?
Sure.
If we're talking straight weed, I'm not too familiar with any studies, but like you said, full accountability, right? Obviously the money that a state brings in, incredible, right? What are you going to do with that 30 million that you bring in? That solves a lot of problems.
Let's train our cops better.
There's part of it, right? Education, cops. I mean, I feel the same about a lottery, right? So many people here freak out, and it's like, do you know why, like, Idaho teachers are paid more than Utah, even though we have a surplus of $30 million in a year? No other state has that, right? They're 20 in the red. They're not making money at the end. They're always behind. Utah's always ahead because of how we are in business. Now start adding charging for weed, having it controlled, having, license to grow. Honestly, I wish I could own one. Like, I totally would. I see where it's going. I see that there's nowhere but up, and pretty much eventually it will be pretty much legalized, right? In 10 years, I think everywhere.
Well, I think if we're honest about everything, you cannot control human beings no matter what you do.
No.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's you.
No, and I don't.
And
I don't want that. It's
people
terrible.
can't control people.
No.
We can do all kinds of other things we all think we can do. I'm simple. If we just simplify it, you can't control people. So control drugs. The opposite of it is don't control drugs. You can't control it either way.
Right?
You take guns away, people are still going to be getting shot with guns.
Yeah.
it's so I'm always in the middle of this. Like, it's just bizarre. I'm like, man,
So think of this.
let
though,
us
too,
sort
right?
each other out. I think we'd have a pretty interesting outcome if we allow accountability.
Sure.
I think
More
the
accountability.
ripple of that would be insane to watch what happens when we just get to decide what we do. Not
I agree.
with law, of course, but
Right. No, I agree.
let people make their decisions and see what happens. I think it'll shake out really quick.
Here's another interesting take too, right? That actually will deflate some of the cartel, right? If people are just going to order it through Mexico in the demand because it's coming from there, all of a sudden you take that away because we have our own, and you're actually going to take some of that power away, right?
I think a lot.
You know, and so that is a benefit that I would take just almost that alone and say I'm okay to run and see where this goes, right? So not only does this,
Well, we've been trying the other for how long?
exactly.
It's not working.
So let's think of something else, right? yeah.
Yeah.
Definition of insanity, right?
Yep.
And that's one thing that right now the border chief that's down at the border is saying that where that wall is at, right? The fentanyl in weed is down like 80% in those places where that wall is.
There's a stat we should all think about.
And then one that even means more to me, sex trafficking in that same place is down that same percentage, right? So you deflate that cartel because it's always going to go sex trafficking and drugs. They're going together, one will fund the other.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Right?
Power.
Deflate them, and let's take it over ourselves and see where that goes. So I'm actually not opposed to it, right? Younger at 17, 18, you know, I would have been.
Sure.
And now, you know what? I don't care. A guy's got 3 weed plants in his basement. Like, he's just doing his thing. He's not hurting anybody. Cool. Live your life, dude.
There you go. There's got to be
Right.
borders. You got
Yeah.
48 pounds in your garage. Fuck.
Yeah,
We got a
maybe.
different idea here.
Yeah, there might be maybe something to it.
You got an
right?
8-ball. Okay. You got 42 pounds of coke on you. We got a problem. Like,
Yeah.
there's always got to be a line drawn somewhere, but it seems
Sure.
to be
Sure, personal use though, and
what we've
and you're
tried
not-
for so long doesn't seem
know,
to work.
right. No, I mean, if you've got personal use for medical, I'm even more a supporter of, right? You've got a legit doctor that says, especially stage 3, 4 cancer, liver failure. I don't care what you need to get. You know, people don't understand a high rate of suicide is from chronic pain. You know, and try and have something so painful that you want them zombied out.
That's a
on,
powerful thing to say, what
you
you
know.
just said. That is, I've never heard that.
right?
A high rate of suicide is due to chronic pain.
Yeah, for when we're talking elderly
That is
or
fucking
older people.
gnarly.
Yeah, and it sucks. And okay, so now we're starting to restrict opioids and pain medicine because of those guys that overdose when they're 20 and their family sues. And now it's hurting guys that legit have cancer because now
They
they're
need
limited
it.
on what they can get. Okay, well, we zombie them out with opioids or risk, you know, them mixing, taking too much, not breathing, or let them eat a powerful brownie.
That will not kill you.
Okay. Yeah, it's not going to stop you from breathing. So
I don't even care if you can't feel your feet.
no, right?
The higher you get,
yeah, dude.
the however high we get,
You get some
won't die.
munchies and you eat some Cheetos, and it's not going to hurt your cancer. And you watch some Beavis and Butthead and laugh, and listen to some cool tunes. Then sweet. I mean, better way to handle cancer, right?
They're derailing you.
So, no, it's good. Like I forgot to ask Dre if he could give me like a sexy Sean Connery voice or something before we did this, because I had my voice on radio.
It's fucking great.
It's terrible. I wanted, like something sexy.
You're crushing it, bro. You're absolutely crushing it. This
Yeah,
fucking
it's good.
info is insane, and these interactions are so
This is just-
absolutely crucial.
You know what's bizarre? We're just scratching the tiniest surface.
Oh,
right?
you're an officer.
And-
You have shit ready. You have it lined in your books. You guys all have the same like thing, and it's just sad, man, to see all the bullshit you guys have to go through from my angle. From the other people that have struggled with law enforcement, I feel that too. I haven't, so I don't know. I just speak to what I know, and what I put out there is what my interactions are all. Every time I've got fucked with by the police,
right.
I deserved it, man. I just deserved it. It's just the way it was.
Accountability,
I was
right?
hiding.
Yeah.
I was doing shit. I even got away with shit. A lot of it where it's
Sure.
like, hey man, never again. I'm like,
There's some cops that have
goddamn
done
right,
it too, right?
never again. And I wouldn't. I'm like, you got it, man. That scared the fuck out of me. I'm like, thanks, bro. You got it. This
Yeah.
will never happen again. I promise you.
Right.
And it didn't.
Right.
I quit doing what I was doing then.
Yeah. Weird.
I don't know, man. It seems to me accountability is the answer for everything.
It's
That's from my heart. I'm not.
I agree.
I'm not into all of any of the the other shit. I don't
No.
politics, none of that. It means nothing to me. But
Right. No, I agree.
these interactions to me are so powerful.
I hope so, right? It shows that, they're, that everyone's human, that they're not all bad guys, right? In fact, like I said, it's by far the opposite, or else I wouldn't be doing it, and you're in an opportunity to change so many things, even when you're not like called to a call, right? You're just sitting there and observe, something going on, like he kind of mentioned, right? There's something that's just not right, and you just happen to be there and see it, whether you're on or off duty, and you make an impact that's positive, and that happens actually all the time.
He didn't even use his power. He never said, "Hey,
No.
man, I'm an off duty. This, that, none of that. No gun, no
Right.
nothing."
No.
He did the right shit. And he's like, "Listen,
Yeah,
get out of here."
right. and I would do the same. And then when that guy starts getting a little froggy, then
Like,
you
I'm a
say,
fucking officer. There was none
exactly.
of this.
No, it's just, hey, dude, what the hell are you doing? You're creeping me out, and you're
Yeah,
creeping
man.
these kids out. Bounce, right?
Yeah.
Just being a good dude.
Everyday interactions are pretty gnarly.
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's, and I think, so you talk accountability, and then everyday actions, right? It's not just when you're on duty, right? You can make a bad name if you're off duty,
Sure.
and so again, be that shining light off duty as well, and I agree. I mean, it's hard, right? You asked, what else can we do, and man, it's hard, and I just blame a ton of it on media, because there is nothing positive. And accountability for both sides, right? I mean, these bad guys can't be bad guys, but cops shouldn't be dicks. But at the same time, they also have to hold the line, right? And it's tough. And being honest, I never thought it would be this hard. And that's just the truth. It's hard. And luckily, I've got a super supportive wife who's amazing, that believes in it to her heart and soul.
Yeah, she does. She's cool.
And I mean, she's awesome. And even doing the, if hopefully I can get on that team and go take out some really bad sex traffickers. She's all about that too, right? I mean, that's about as sketchy and dangerous as I think you can get. And I've even put into, go be a contractor overseas, and she was fine with that. And so I've got my clearance for that, and it's just kind of hard leaving the little 3-year-old that's hooked to your side,
Yeah.
But I want nothing more than just take out some really bad dudes. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of opportunity to do a lot of good, and everyone I know, like you said, that's what they hope to do when they put on their vest and their uniform, right?
Yeah.
It's man, I hope we do good today.
Yep.
And
I think
that's all I think.
I believe that's for the majority of you people, man. I really do. If we're gonna put you in a box, that's the box I see you guys in. The ones I know
I appreciate that.
is the heart's there, because it's fucking scary just to do the job. Period.
Right.
I can only imagine, and the people that speak otherwise don't. I don't believe they understand.
No.
It's just very one-sided is all I see. But I don't know. I'm not into all that. I just know what I want to, like Dre nailed it, man. I just want to put out what I put out.
Sure.
And I'm, to the end of time, pro people. I'm just pro people. I'm
Right.
pro whatever the fuck job
agree with
everybody
that,
does.
right?
Because
Sure.
we need everyone,
Right?
but especially order. We definitely need
Yeah.
order, and I believe in it with my heart. Not a one of you's coming to my door to take my guns. I don't care what law tells you to do so. I know that in my heart. So I'll right there, I go to people. Put whatever laws the state, city, county, whoever it is, put these laws out there. The people I know don't have it in their heart to go enforce something bizarre that we're also scared of. Calm down.
Right.
I believe in people, man.
Yeah.
And I know that by the end of all this horse shit, people will make it right. Not just, I'm a cop, I'm a this. None of that
Right.
matters, man. You're a
No.
fucking human being.
Yep.
And you have blood in you, and you guys are all so grounded that I know.
Right.
So I see it differently, man.
Yeah. No.
I don't see colors. I don't see jobs. I don't see any of this.
No, man.
I see-
Character, right?
Surround myself with people that I love and
Yeah.
that I trust. You'd be here in less than a second if there was something. It just,
Dude.
I wouldn't even have to fucking say a word. You live right
Nope.
down the street.
Oh, I'd be there.
Like, people know that, like,
Oh, dude.
I just put people
be there
around
in
me,
a
man,
heartbeat.
that I love. And I'm sorry that you guys go through such shit, man. I really am. But
I appreciate it, right? But
I-
it's
just gonna keep cranking the shit out that I do, and I think it's cool. I think
it is cool, and the fact that you guys have talked to so many like means a lot, and your appreciation, and your good examples, and it's okay, right? If there's some disagreement on the politics of what to do with law enforcement, like that's okay to have that, right?
very healthy. Sure.
But yeah, that's where it starts. But like you said, you just don't start by burning down cities, especially when you have no information, right? I mean, like I said, that night, no one they talked to knew why they were there. And it's like, man, if I'm going to be somewhere, I better damn well have a reason.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate all that you've asked and, all that you've said. Like it means a lot, and especially anybody that hears that, because there's no question from you. It's real, and it's heartfelt, and it's legit, right? There's no bullshit with you.
Yep. And when it's the same the other way, one of you does something you deserve, burn. I hope you do, and I hope that the law, the humans see you accountable.
Right.
Not absolutely you,
Right.
absolutely me.
Right.
Anybody.
I
don't care what you do. You're accountable for you, man.
Sure.
You fucking kneeled on that dude's neck for 9 minutes.
Right.
You're going to fucking prison.
There's repercussions, right? I mean,
whatever it is, it's that easy, man. I see it that simple.
Right.
So,
right.
A lot of you are beautiful people. Most people are beautiful people.
You, we've talked very, very serious talk, and I love it. But what is the serious job that you have, the serious career that you chose, the seriousness that you have done for 12 years? How do you decompress? How do you show that little 3-year-old, how do you show her a good time? Like, how do you decompress? How do you have fun?
Dude, so that's again, Trey, come up with good questions because
every time.
Right, there's certain things that are de-stressors that have been proven. There's certain things that people think are de-stressors that what everyone goes to, right? And I think you even said it before, right? Like alcoholism is super high. And in fact, one of the reasons why cops get deserted, I mean, it's not the main reason, but it is one of the top 4 or 5. So for one, finding those healthy stress relievers is important. And I'll tell you what's really probably saved my life is the gym, right? Vigorous exercise or like team sports is something that they've proven that right, your brain can process all this craziness, right? You seeing a dad kill his 8 and 13-year-old, and you respond to that, and again, you can't associate it with the home, right? Again, 3-year-old killed in a car wreck. I don't sit there and be like, oh, it's mine. That's just like my girl, right? Like that's damaging. And so you've got to set up your own parameters. When you, like you said, when you sign up for this job, right, there's certain things, and you've got to go in with this strong mentality, this strong mindset of you can't break me. And so number one thing is you do, right, it's not drinking every night, you know what I mean? Yeah, but the gym every night. Even nutrition has a massive effect. You're eating crappy. How are you not going to feel crappy when you have this job? And keeping with your doctor, if there's something you need, you better get on it. So for me, the gym is number one. When I come home, I don't bring anything home, right? It's not like tell my wife how bad this was, or, she'll actually, hey, what kind of calls today? Is there any bad guys? And, tell her, yeah or no. Or, hey, there was a big fire, and I got some cool pictures. And so when it's healthy and she, she wants to know about stuff, I'll tell her, and, having the family interaction is key. And even the PTSD counselor, right, had asked, so how many marriages are you on? Oh, 1. Oh, okay. Most guys say 3 or 4. No, just 1. Okay. Well, how much you drink in a week? Oh, well, right now, none. Right. Like I just figured, right, I got to go 0 to 60. So it's better just not to. Oh, okay. Well, how many antidepressants you on? Well, I was, but I kind of used the gym now and got off of it. Oh, okay. Well, right. And just everything he kept saying was like, well, that's not the norm. Are you using drugs? Nope, never have. Oh, okay. So the gym does absolute wonders. Not bringing it home is second. And then you've got to have hobbies and friends that are not in the service, right? That's something that very big trend, right, in studies and things the police academy even kind of warns you about is you can't be so disenfranchised from other people that all becomes you. And right, my job doesn't identify who I am, right? If I never rode another fire truck in a cop car, was never, either one of those again, then it wouldn't destroy me. But it would destroy some people. You take that badge away because that's all they can identify with. And that's unhealthy. And then, awesome hobby is motorcycles, right? I was telling Junior earlier. So I bought 5 or 6 over the summer. I've got this badass custom chopper, finding good deals, fixing them up, and now I think I'm going to rent them out over the summer. But it's fun to find this awesome deal, right? This bike that's worth $6,000, but it's got a couple things wrong. So the guy sells it for $1,000. You put 500 into it, and it's back up to where it should be. You either sell it and flip it and make some money, or the one bike I just got actually on Christmas Eve, worth about $4,500. He gave it to me for $800 because his wife said it's gone today.
Damn.
So I know. I've been watching it.
It's simple, dude. Find something that's get out and get involved in shit.
Right.
Do something
Easy.
that makes you happy.
Yeah, and seriously, I'm gonna have 3 hours into it. It'll be back to normal. And some guy offered him $1,500, but he wanted to cut it up and make like a Frankenstein bike that was, part of every bike. For one, he's not gonna make that work. And then number 2, the guy's like, I told him I'd give him $1,000. He's like, how about $800? I'm like, are you tricking me? This isn't how negotiation usually works. Like,
get on my recorder.
Wait on, what's going on? And he's like, no, man, I don't want to cut up. And I'm willing to take that hit because you're not going to cut it up. I said, no, man. In fact, when it's all back together and I'm going to add some cooler shit to it, come ride it. And I got that bike for the sole purpose of if there's a guy having a problem, right? Guy's going through some PTSD and won't get off alcohol. Hey, man, let's not drink today. Let's go for a bike ride, right? Go get your temporary. And now I'm only $800, $1,200 when I'm done. Come ride, right? Let's use some
Have you
wind
heard that
therapy.
from most everyone we've talked to has an idea like that? Have you noticed that?
Yeah, now I'm like,
they're all
fucking quit your job and go do what you want to do. Fix up some bikes and sell them.
You're all affecting each other that way, though.
You're giving me too much to be like, yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm totally safe.
It's all about you guys helping your guys. You guys aren't looking out for, you're not going anywhere, but other than you're keeping it. It doesn't matter if it's military. All of our first responder people have that same idea where they reach to their people. They don't go above anything. They're just like, you're gonna help other dudes. Hey, yo, man, that's more powerful than any admin, any of this other shit.
Right. I hope so.
It
Right?
is.
That was the hope,
I believe in it. You know me. I tattoo. That's the connections I have with all of you.
big time, right?
And that is huge decompression, stress, and
Oh, yeah.
we did all the
Right.
coaching thing to map all to help.
Put it together.
We can do all that. That's people. It's people helping people. I'm all about it.
Dude, I mean, it was a no-brainer, right? Like, seriously, $800, and I think that was kind of unique thing, right? The guy didn't know that's what I was going to do with it.
That's
But
cool.
for him to drop the price like that. I was like, dude, this makes too much sense. It's a super nice bike. Just a crazy thing on Christmas Eve. I'm like, I'm gonna get murdered because I have.
You have
four
no
in the
shop.
garage,
You have no
dude.
room in your garage.
No, dude, there's 4. There's 2
You need a
four-wheelers
shop.
and 4 or 5 bikes, and I have 2 in the shed. And I'm actually picking up 1 more tomorrow. So like, I'm gonna get murdered by my wife. But hopefully it's gonna be some cool things. Either I can liquidate them and make 3 times what I'm into it, or like I said, rent them out. And
Help
I'll always
help
keep
somebody
that.
else.
I'm always gonna keep this one.
Yeah.
Have you
For
guys
that
ever
reason.
worked together on a project? Because it sounds like you guys do similar shit.
Sorry.
I just tattoo him. I've tattooed him several times.
Yeah, actually, he's got some pretty wicked side work that's my favorite. That
But never bites, though.
Yeah,
You should fab something up and then throw it on a bike.
dude.
For real.
I've got 3 frames. I've got 3 frames right now,
You're sitting
And,
in the fab shop, bro. You holla.
dude. I can make it. Actually, it's a rolling chassis right now. It's a Harley chassis. In fact, I've got a 72 panhead chassis, and I've got a 2007 Sportster chassis. So
Do some shit.
I
know a
probably
guy.
should. I
know a
mean,
guy.
those frames are. I got to stay on them. Whatever happens, I don't care what happens. So, there actually could be something pretty neat.
I'm down.
And I've got a connection with Hot Rod Shop so they've been saving little things of paint they've been doing for hot rods, and they saved it for me. So I ended up saving one of their buddies, like saved his life. And they're like, dude, whatever you want. I'm like, well, that's not fair. I'll pay you for your work. But they're like, we're going to paint at least one of your bikes for free. I'm like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But
So
save all this hot rod paint. So they've got these just insane colors and just beautiful hot rod paint. And they were saying, okay, the next one you get done, bring it in.
when you're ready,
So-
let's shoot it up.
So I've got a pretty wicked V-Star bobber that's almost done that they're gonna do. So I'm kind of pumped. They've actually got 2 or 3 in the last SEMA show, and so
Wow.
I mean,
Where'd that love for bikes come from? Was like your pops or something put you on?
no, man. In fact, he was so against it. His best friend was killed when they were riding at 19, and he flipped a U-turn. No one knew why. He was really against it when I was younger, and I don't know. All of a sudden, same thing. I just found this crazy deal, right? Something I couldn't pass up. You know, a Honda CBR out of Tooele. Guy says, I have no idea what's wrong. I'm taking a journeyman thing in Oklahoma. I can't really take it with me. It just died on me. And I'm like, okay. And I see the price go from 34, 24, 14. And he says, just make an offer. And I said, I'll give it, what about 7? Because I have no idea what's wrong, right? I don't know if the engine's seized. This could be shit. I go out there, test the compression, test the spark, and it acts like it wants to go. And I'm like, dude, at the worst, this is going to be a fuel pump, right? So, I mean, I'm just generally mechanically inclined, nothing crazy. And then I've read every motorcycle book I could find at the library and just started working on four-wheelers, and it just kind of led to the next thing. But that Honda CBR ended up being out of gas. So I get this bike for
Fucking out of
It
$700.
was
gas.
just out of gas.
The digital,
You'll have that.
digital monitor, dude, and it said half full. And I get it home, and I'm like testing the spark. I'm like, oh, spark's good. Compression is like right where it says it should be. And I'm shaking it.
We
I'm
always
like, oh, it's
complicate
light.
things, don't
yeah,
we?
right. And it was like, I'm sitting there looking at it like, well,
you
it
plug
has
it
to
in?
have- seriously, I'm like, air, spark, or fuel. And I'm like, oh, it shows I got half, so I'm good. And then I started thinking, that's electronic gauge. It may not always be right. So I'm into this thing like an hour. Finally, I sit on it and I move around. And I'm like, I don't hear any sloshing for half tank. Open it up, dry as a bone. Grab my lawnmower, gas can, fired right
Ogman's
up.
razor, right?
Dude, yep.
It's always
Easy
the simple
explanation.
answer.
Yes.
The answer's always the simple way, man.
Right.
Always.
And then from that, it turned on to flip it. And my brother-in-law bought it, tripled the price. I still gave it to him for $2,000 under, but I made $2,000. Got another bike, did the same thing, found something super simple. Was like, oh, this is just.
I got a knack for this
it's just
shit.
it's just a chain that's stretched. So an auto tensioner, a new chain, and shit. I got, again, a bike for $1,000 I sold for $4,000.
Yeah, you seem like but you're very knowledgeable in that craft. It seems like something that you really enjoy, and you can make some money off of it.
It's time.
Dude, you guys are killing me because it's like I've been thinking it, I've been feeling it.
Don't even.
And now
It's
like,
there. It's done.
You guys are not the first ones telling me this. I'm just like, dude. My brother-in-law's like, dude, how many of these could you do a month? I'm like, oh, legit, probably 3 or 4 if I had full time. And he's like, and you're making 3 on each bike.
And
Here's 10,000. You're not doing that as a policeman. Or
don't
a
tell me that. Don't
fireman.
tell me that. Don't
Yeah,
tell me
and I'm
numbers.
like,
Can you ease out of that career? Like, is there a part-time police officer? You know what I mean? Like, can you ease out of that and maybe grow, make
Yeah,
your
there's-
side hustle your main hustle?
That's what I did with my thing. Is I eased out of what I was into ish. So I did that same idea.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways even right now, right? Like, talking PA school, if I actually could do a medical retirement. I've been hurt enough that I've had something that would qualify me. I just haven't done it. Or I still get all that money that's in my retirement and state pension. It's just not until I hit the 20 years that I could take that money out. So that money's not like gone, right? Whatever's been put away in the state pension or my 401k, I can draw that out in 8 years. There isn't necessarily, there's a couple part-time jobs that yeah, I could, or like I said, I could just leave for PA school and do a couple of those bikes at night, and you could still have some income.
You can try it out and see how hard it hits and be like, yeah, I can do this.
Yeah, well, there's even people, right, that get through just student loans by themselves.
Sure.
And if I did that even part-time, right, I'd probably come close. For benefits, you can get student benefits. and I'd probably come out close part-time making what I am anyway. And there's enough people out there that sell stuff, right? I mean, the first I've gone was I went to Pocatello for a cruiser, and it was $900, but it's worth about $3,500 after about $1,000.
Yeah,
So that wasn't the best.
You're speaking of the lifestyle right there, bro. You could do it.
Dude, it's
so doable.
I think, and I, actually just had a family friend pass away last week. So Godspeed, Reed. But he always said, right, you're not gonna ever make money if you're working for someone else. And he said it all the time.
It's real.
And he bought a logging truck and had a trucking company for 32 years. No business experience, no college, just heart.
I got to be careful there because I go for days on that because life is so tricky, man. And we're only here, I think, the one quick time, and it ain't about even money to me anymore that I walked away from that. It's all about in here. And I'm so happy doing what I do here, and money just happens to be.
See, I just love it.
It all just comes back to when everything's geared right, when you're doing what you want to do, that's just a byproduct of it. It happens. It's like I can make a living doing that.
So in talking to this, right, I mean, I have coworkers that get so livid that I'm in the old retirement system that's better. I'm veteran enough that the city pays the majority of my benefits. It's super good benefits for way low price, right? I'm talking like $60 for 90/10 benefits for the whole family. I mean, that's insane.
Wow.
So, I mean, that's one of the catches of the old system.
That's how they keep people, man.
That's how they keep people. So afraid of just making that little jump. But too many people, right, like I said, identify with that job and they don't have a backup. So this is so interesting because not only do I get arguments of them how, oh, fine, you're not true fire, you're not true medic, you're not true PD. Okay, fine, whatever.
Oh, I could decode
because
that
you wanna,
in about a second.
Right, because you want to bail and you're in the old system. Who gives a shit?
They're telling you that because
right?
they have none of these.
Because they have nothing else. Yes.
Human psychology is so simple.
I know. It is, though, right?
Uh-huh.
So the PTSD guy says, okay, so I'm having a hard time kind of telling my friends exactly how, my kind of thought is. But he described it in a super easy way, right? He says, okay, well, why don't you want to go further, in the service? And I said, I just want to do too much. Like, that's cool. You want to do 20 years, become a fire captain or a sergeant, and that's what you want your rock to say. I mean, that's cool. But I don't want that, right? I want my rock to say, okay, EMT, firefighter, paramedic, flight medic, SWAT medic, PA.
7 million things.
You know what I mean? Like everything that says who you are.
Absolutely.
Father, husband.
Right?
Yeah. Dope ass dude.
Just
his way.
gnarly stuff, right? Yeah. Like, so what do you want your rock to say? So that's the first thing, the number one thing that phenomenal PTSD guy, first thing he says is, right, you need to have something else. And 99% of the people you just said it, that he talks to don't have that other thing. They can identify with that badge and then they're lost. He says, that's not you. He says, right, you've got this knowledgeable, you're almost done with nursing, you've got a bachelor's of science, you could go PA right now. You got all these other things, and he was the same, right? He was an EMT, drove the fire truck for a while, became a SWAT medic, used the benefits for tuition reimbursement, go to therapy school. Now he's full time doing this for first responders and more directed for first responders, right? But he did it for 15, 20 years, and then now he's helping them. And so he said, this is how he explained it, right? He's like, people just couldn't believe it. They don't want to get out. And he gave me 3 examples of other guys, right? One guy had 12, resonates with me. One guy had 15, one guy had 19 years.
1 year to go.
1 year to go. And he says, fuck it, I'm out.
Right.
He went to PA school and he said, I don't even care about that year. In that year, right, he could have had 50% of his salary for the rest of his life.
Dude.
But
screaming facts,
and he's
bro.
dumb. When he's done, in his head, I'm done.
Yep.
And right, and his heart is telling him somewhere else, and your mind is telling you got to get out for whatever reason, right? And sadly, right, my heart and my brain keep going there. And I think I was so bummed out last year. A, my health was getting poor. I wasn't taking care of myself. And then B, right, I need something else on my rock. Like, it's just not. I've kind of done what I've wanted to. I have no interest in climbing the ladder. I'm not going to make these decisions of people should be in trouble for changing a tire. For other guys, I have no interest in becoming admin. Some of the culture, I'm not going to change alone. And
Well, I think you've made a
Trey
hell of enough impact in what you've already done.
you know, I would hope so. I would think so. I mean, you know, we've received a lot of letters that, you know, specifically because of something I've done. So I feel good about that. Things that I know that have made an impact. Again, never put the city at liability, you know, never had a T-Rex jump out because I was changing a tire, you know, even though that's what, you know, these hypotheticals they judge you on, and it's always hypothetical.
Sure.
It's never legit. You know, again, I just got to paint my rock with something else, 2 or 3 more things, right? Jump team, you know, to end sex trafficking, PA, I'd be happier with all that instead of sergeant cop for 20 years. That's cool if that's your thing. That's fine. But I'm kind of going nuts inside because I need something else.
Yeah,
like
man.
I'm going crazy.
You can hear
You
it.
know, and I'm just like,
It was uncracked right here tonight. Hopefully this made a huge fucking
no, man. He keeps echoing what the PTSD guy said. Man, he's like, hey, you got these other loves and you're good at this. And I agree with you. Actually, as a PA, I think you can probably help more because you're not dealing with little domestic bullshit that you don't really get anything done. You go stay somewhere else tonight, stop getting drunk together, bye.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're actually, you know, someone comes in with a horrible autoimmune thing going on and here, you need this and you need this. Call me tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know?
I think that's for me, if I'm you, that's a satisfying thing is that you get to see this person on this journey versus, okay, I stopped this bad guy, he's in jail, and it just ends there, right? like if you're a PA, you get to treat somebody. You get to that's the thing, you get to treat. You don't just get to solve a problem, right?
I agree, and that's the thing, right? Is my brain keeps saying I need more, and there's nothing really more I can do, right? It's pretty limited, and, you know, and I want to be that guy that takes that horrible trauma into IMC and goes all of a sudden and reads that CT and knows what's going on in the brain and be like, oh crap, we need to give him this, and this because he's, you know, bleeding in his head, and IMC runs a PA in the ER that's what they're doing. So it's like, okay, I could work normal hours, play with my kids more, have more money for a bike,
build bikes,
and you know, start customizing them. Right, I just get them back to normal, but I would love to start customizing some shit.
Get another sleeve done.
Oh, it's coming. It's coming. Just between, I just you know, didn't want to get murdered after I bought 5 bikes in the summer and then got more tattoos. Right. So,
Are you afraid of heights?
No.
Okay, so the helicopter thing is you're ready.
So that's something, right? So I'm certified. So yeah, I mean, I'm certified as a flight medic, and that's another option I can do too. But even there, right, you're kind of restricted as pay and stuff. So yeah, I'd rather go, right, make double, triple the money, and yeah, your normal PA in the ER, and then, you know, I mean, those calls don't come out, you know, maybe 1 or twice a year. So yeah, I mean, the helicopter's no big thing. I've been on a few times and they need extra help. And so that was another option to look at, right? Was just going full-time flight medic.
Dude,
and
trauma would be so fucking crazy.
Oh yeah.
It is, man. And that's kind of as a SWAT medic, that's kind of your thing, right? Is trauma. And I even fought to get us a drug called TXA that actually stops internal bleeding, a very easy way to say it. And there's only 2 or 3 agencies that have that. And I was able to get that and carry that. Actually, there's another guy that pushed harder who's now retired who was able to kind of lead that. But to get that for our team is big. Nobody else runs that. And I think AirMed is the only flight agency that has that as well. So, I mean, there's some cool stuff that's just come out. A lot of stuff comes from the military. But, yeah, I mean.
You're a lucky man, and I know Junior don't believe in luck, and when I say luck, I say it in this sense. You are a lucky man in the sense of you created opportunities that you hold the power, and I hope you know that. You hold the power to say, I'm going to do this, right? There's a lot of people that their definition of who they are is that one thing, like you mentioned. And I feel like when people define themselves with one thing, they don't get to do the things that they want to do. And you are a lucky guy that can say, I get to choose my next path and what I want to do.
You know,
That's
it
awesome.
is.
Which is why, to back myself up, the way I don't believe in luck is because of, he said it all in the same thing. You're lucky, but you've made those things for you. That's why I say I don't believe in luck, because you've actually done all the work to make all those decisions totally up to you.
I've
So,
always believed
luck
in keep
being-
your options open, right?
That's it, man. You did the
and-
work. You've
and-
done the work.
And it's kind of easy, right?
It's
I mean,
dope.
you take one class this semester and this class this semester, and even though you're doing one at a time instead of being a full-time student, right? That time's passing anyway. So might as well do a class here, keep these open. The problem I had is, right, I found a thing when I was in kindergarten. It says, what do you want to be to grow up? And it actually says paramedic, you know, it's all spelled all funky, but, you know, but it was like, wow, even at 5 years old, right? And for some reason I could never leave it, you know, and then I wanted to get into this as a stepping stone for PA or nurse practitioner. That was actually the goal. And then it just gets hard when you start making a career and then you get an opportunity, right?
Sure.
Go to heavy rescue school and you go learn how to rappel for 3 months and you get paid for it, right? I mean, hey, you're going to go get overtime to go shoot an automatic weapon for 10 hours. Well, okay. And you kind of get stuck in those fun adrenaline things. And now I kind of realize, right, that's it's getting unhealthy. It's dragging your body. I've been hurt a few times, more times and more times, right? Now, as the older I get, it's getting harder to recover. You know, like right now, you're exposed to COVID every day. I haven't had that over Halloween, and again, that's okay, right? It's part of what you signed up for, but I have this internal struggle of, man, I need something else on my rock now, and
That's it.
and it's just afraid. That's why I respect your thinking so much of, you're not stepping on me as a human. And that's kind of something that public safety has, right? Is that your day's planned for you. When exactly you can eat, work out, kind of do these things and these things. You're told when. And it's like, I struggle. Or if they want to assign you busy work, you have to do this busy work. Hey, go wash that car 3 times. Why?
You can just hear it in the way you talk, man. Listen to you. Like, everything you say is, you're so passionate. Like I said before, you've got this stuff's all written out. You've got these, you're very just passionate. I would sum you up as a passionate human, and you have so much to offer, and bottling that up in one spot is really creepy, man. You're not wired that way, bro. So to see that and confront it, fear is absolutely one of the funniest things we go through as a human being, and it's all it is uncertainty, and that's I crave it. I crave to be in fear, because all that means is there's it's unknown is all it means. So it's like, you do that all day long. You're always in it.
See, and
it's like, I'm afraid to make the jump. No, you ain't afraid of shit. You're in this pattern of this psychological game, man. It's the best move you'll ever make, because you attack life, and you got it.
Hit it. I couldn't said it any better, even, right? I mean, I'm being honest with myself. Like I said, I've been going through a guy to help me make these jumps, and you couldn't have said it any better. You're just doing these patterns, and I tell myself, I'm afraid to make that jump, but really, no, I like that unknown.
That's what you crave.
I do.
Yeah.
And
It's very simple.
And I have no doubt. It's not that I don't believe myself. I absolutely do.
It's scary,
Right?
though.
Sure, right? it is, but I also think some of us almost need to make that jump, so you do know what you're capable of.
Straight up.
I almost need to maybe just do that.
Straight
so
up.
I finally do it. I keep leaning on, oh, well, it does have benefits. Oh, I'm 8 years away. But then again, right?
That's
talked
the
to this
absolute
guy.
problem of it.
That is, right? It's almost like poker, right? You get mad at the cards you threw away. Dude, that doesn't even matter. Card amnesia. Forget that. Look ahead and keep that final goal, right? Like, one thing I am good at is I don't need to go buy that brand new truck or that Corvette.
Sure.
You know, and I could see the long-term thing, right? In fact, that's the only positive thing with all these bikes, right? I mean, I've got, you know, that chopper, right? That's a $38,000 machine I got for $14,000, and it's insured for way more than that. And I could liquidate all the stuff I have because it's all paid for. I've paid it all in cash, no credit. House payment is super gnarly because I put $25,000 down. So, I mean, I haven't built anything that would really prevent it, and yet you're scared to make that leap just because you're comfortable.
It's comfort, and that's all it is.
You know, and so you're compromising some of like a dream, or Jay said it, man. I probably could even help more people as a PA, and that's where I start thinking, like, because not only do I see them at the start, or you could be in the ER, but yeah, you jump on the helicopter and still get some of that intensity, and man, and then you're making 3 times as much, and I'm not doing 72 hours a week, right? I'm doing 40 to 50 for triple the money.
It's simple self-awareness. Whatever you need, you grab it. Don't comfort and all these other things in retirement. Nobody even has a clue what I have walked away from. It doesn't even matter. It's irrelevant, but the numbers are scary. They're staggering.
I guarantee
it doesn't mean anything to me. What means everything to me is my happiness, man. And I'm like, I'm over this shit. I run he runs, my wife runs. Everybody does everything for me, but I get to be a part of everything I've always dreamed of doing, and I'm doing my thing, man. And I've never been happier, never been broke, never been all kind of shit. I don't care. I love this,
dude.
And life is life, man. And do what you do, and you ain't just it's do you. That's straight up do you.
See, and that's something I've never done. I'm always worried about
this time.
I'm always worried about
everybody
how
else.
to do it if I see everyone else.
Yep.
Okay. I mean,
that's it.
If I say no at work because someone called in sick, I used to feel guilty, right? Dude, that's what admin has overtime for. That's why they have guys, right? Chiefs get paid $90,000. Dude,
it's always about somebody else.
If
you listen to you guys talk, it's always about somebody else. Always.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I am always looking forward is.
It's crazy.
And I've never concentrated kind of on me since I started seeing this PTSD guy, right?
And look how gnarly you are at work now. Imagine if it was all what you absolutely would live and die for and love, even for you, not just because of all the everything else. It would be insane.
Right. I agree. And I think as a PA, I would have more power to do that.
Yeah.
Right. Make it my own. There's less of that public scrutiny. It's just not really there. Right. You get people that get mad at doctors and stuff, but I mean, it's not that same pressure. I don't think
it's nearly as publicized.
No. And it's just different. It's totally opposite, right? But you could still have being in the ER. You'd still have a rush, or some of the cases that they're doing in surgery are so fun.
Well, look out, medical field. We've just hand-delivered a nightmare to you.
Right, I do. Nightmare actually means dream.
Yes, sir.
It's just the next dream. And
I'm teasing, man. You crush anything you touch, man. It's very simple.
It's just more people need to listen to you saying it's that simple, and that's what he's even said the same thing. And
the problem is, it truly is.
See, I believe that, and it's like hard to be like, okay, well. Our kid's going to be okay. What about that weird time of insurance? And like you said, really, if you just put everything you have into everything else, it's going to work. You just got to convince yourself that.
Totally fuck you up with the story of mine. It was scary, bro. And that's why it's so worth it.
Right.
The hardest thing, then you just said at the gym, the hardest thing in the world is they hurt. That shit hurts. That's what it's so worth it. Getting a 6-pack in the gym, hardest motherfucking thing you'll ever go through. But it's that's the only thing that's even worth doing is what hurts and makes you sweat and makes you scream and cry and scared to death. That's the only thing worth doing.
Absolutely right.
If it's easy, 9 to 5, that shit ain't worth it, man.
Ain't worth it.
It's just not.
Right.
So, scared. Put yourself out there. Do you. Love you. He keeps calming me down every day. Like, listen, man, it's okay. Things are coming. But I'm just a helpless, hopeless driving machine. And I'm like, I want more. I need more. I want more. But you surround yourself. You're the sum of the 12 closest people in your life.
Right.
I feel like I've surrounded myself with the best humans alive to help me do what I do, and that's all you do.
Yeah.
It's like everybody else around you is toxic, and people that love you and support you, you surround yourself with them. I don't have lots of family around me. Whoa, that seems to be helping a lot. Like. Right. What you need is what you need, man. And I'm just where I'm at in my life, know what I need, and I think you're right there too. And I think you need to do it, man. I think that's cool. I think it's beautiful.
That's amazing, honestly. I love hearing that.
Gems are always where you never expect them to be, man.
Right, and I'm starting to find that out. Like, right, there's been weird stuff kind of leading that way. Both you and Dre kind of hitting it without all the info is like, oh, wow, damn.
It's because I'm a true believer in your energy should go into what makes you happy, right? And if it is that person that wants to retire as a Sarge, then that's cool. Then that's you, right? But I also believe in monetizing your mindset. My man Dalton told me that. And you shouldn't feel bad to want to monetize the thing that makes you happy, even if it is, building motorcycles. Like, you should be able to monetize that and live off of that.
That'd be the most impact as a human you'll have anyway, as far as everything.
Right.
And all he's speaking to is what I think he's digging, even not even know he's hitting on, is what you're talking about, you're most passionate about, is coming out and you're not even saying it. That's why he said the PA thing. That's why he's firing off of that, because he's sitting in the back listening. That's when you get excited even more. He's teeing off of what he's hearing you actually get really excited about when you talk about. When I get so involved in your story, he's catching all the cool little things like, dude, that shit spikes him. Every time he says that, he fucking changes. So he tees off of that so easy, and he's like, oh, I got this one.
Probably, man. I mean,
That's
like
what I
this,
think.
I'm like this drug nerd, and everyone looks at me weird at the station like, how the fuck do you know that? And it's
Everything about you is information.
know,
That's how your brain ticks.
Have you ever worked narcotics?
No, I mean, I'm kind of stuck to SWAT, and when you're like as a medic, right, it's important to kind of keep you in that role, because that's the most important role. I would love to. I don't ever think I could. I go nuts if I don't get my hair cut every 2 weeks. So those guys that are all like goateed out and like dirty hair and fake makeup on their teeth, I'm afraid I'll just stand out like a suburban white dude and that like
Cop
that watches Frozen on the weekends with their 3-year-old and
He's never partied a day in his life.
No, man, he's like he doesn't know how to.
Cop, that's a fucking cop.
Yeah, he can't chop. You better do this on a Coke right now. I'd be like, what? How do you do that?
What does that mean?
I'd be shot, So
I can tell you exactly what it is, though. Look, it is. This is how it affects the brain. This is what it is.
I know what it does, and here's the chemical structure, and I can even draw it.
That's
for you.
him. See,
He has a book.
that's him. That's how he is, man. Your fucking knowledge is insane, dude. And you're a powerful, powerful person, and you need to put that right the fuck where it belongs. And whatever it is you want, it's time. This time is like yesterday, and I'm living proof of you can absolutely do it. If I can do anything, holy fuck, I'm telling you right now, I'm a basket case, bro. As far as structure, you have more of that than any human I know. It's hard to sit back and watch my chaotic life happen. It's like, holy shit, this dude's doing it. Everybody there laughing like, dude, good luck. 25 years, that's all he knows is lying. I'm like,
no, man, that's
you
not
fuckers
true,
don't even know me.
Yeah, no,
It's
I have
heart,
no
bro.
idea.
It's all heart.
Yeah, dude, no,
And
they have no idea, man.
If you want it, being scared is everything. And I have 4 kids. I got, my life, man.
Yeah.
So I had everything in the world to lose, and I still do.
Same, right?
That's even more so to jump in.
Yeah.
That's even more reason to go after exactly what it is you want, because that's where it's at, man. And
That's
then you have
power,
no
dude.
excuse not to make it happen. If
Right.
if what we desire, this is Mel Robbins, as what we desire as a human doesn't have enough behind it, enough reason to achieve it, our excuses will be more than enough.
Absolutely, right.
And that's life.
It's crazy.
It's so easy. There's no such thing I don't even use them. I don't have them. I don't talk about them. There's no excuse.
No,
I just do shit. I don't even
right,
know.
just do.
People that whatever. I don't care about none of it. I want it. I'm doing it, because my excuse will be way more than enough reason why I didn't.
It could be, right? It could
Just-
be.
Just do it.
Yeah. I mean, David
Beautiful.
Goggins talks about
He's dope too.
he's dreaming about him. He said what makes him unique, right, is that he can see the finish line, but live it right there. And he says most people can't do that, where he puts himself as walking across that stage and actually getting, certed or, given his trident and becoming a SEAL. And he says all it's worth is 3 or 4 seconds of joy. You do, right? He did, right? Buds 3 times.
Yep.
18 months of sure hell. The most intense shit you could do in life for 18 months in a row. Most people can't do it for 6. He does it 3 times for a few seconds of joy, and it was totally worth it.
Lifetime.
To me, that's bizarre.
Lifetime. It's in here.
Yeah, right.
You don't give a fuck about no medal.
Oh no.
That's it.
I mean, how crazy though, right? And that struck. I think a lot of people miss that. Yet when he says, "That's it, a few seconds of joy," but it was everything, and it's so worth it, man. And that is so crazy to think that, right? Like you just pointed to your heart, right? That's it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that my heart's not into doing what I'm doing now.
Oh,
right?
it's totally into
I
it.
just need my rock to be more.
You can just feel
you
that
know?
there's something else there.
There's something else.
That's
you
all.
know, and it's like Jiminy Cricket. It's like, God, leave me alone. I know there's something else. Fuck.
That's it. We all know our answers. We choose not to listen to them. Why do people smoke cigarettes? You know, Jiminy Cricket, it's going to kill your ass, but it feels so good. It's all justification.
Yeah.
That's all excuses are. It's like, well, it's because it's safe. It's because blah, 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 blah. Do it.
It's just
it's kind of like just like the investing in yourself too, right? Like the equipment in here isn't cheap, right? When I first bought my camera, it was like, do I do it?
What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, do I make that purchase? And I honestly, when I was asking myself this, I like started thinking about it. Like, what makes me like question my purchases? And it came down to, we don't know what could happen tomorrow. Like, there was a time where my car broke down and I didn't have money for a tire. And it's those kind of things that give me that, I'm going to just wait.
Right.
But, you know, at the end of the day, when I did make that purchase, when I did buy my own DJ equipment, I ended up getting gigs.
And you made it work.
I ended up making money.
Yeah,
it's weird, man.
You get in life what you put in.
Also true.
You don't
right?
get what you want. You get what you are. You get what you put in.
Yeah.
You put in, it comes
totally.
back. Look at me taking this dive on this fucking podcast. He said the equipment isn't cheap. We didn't just go at it a little everything I do, I dive in so fucking hard because I want to fail.
Right.
My man, Denzel Washington, fail fucking big.
Fail,
Don't fail.
Right.
Bust
your
every
face.
fucking bone in your body. You fail.
Yeah.
And then you get back up and you do it again and again and again. I just live for that drive of just go, man, go hard. And the nuggets are there. All that beautiful. And the end prize, I don't see an end goal. I see all the shit is what I love. Going through all this hard shit, that's what I love. That's where all the beautiful shit's at. All the struggle of all this is worth it to me because that's where I'm learning.
Right.
And then if I get the big reward at the end, whatever the fuck it may be, then so be it.
Right.
But I'm just going to want more.
It's kind of.
So I love the struggle and I love climbing and tearing and breaking and going and I love it, man.
Right. So that's something right, someone that's mad at me for looking at other options. And I said, look, man.
It's because they don't have any.
They don't have any. and
So
they're weird,
simple.
right? This is the guy that kisses butt and that isn't very good, yet gets a good position because he's playing the game.
That's it.
And I don't play the game. I'm just me, right? But public safety has become as much as being okay at your job, not even just great or good, and then playing the game. And I don't play the game. I'm just me, but I do a phenomenal job when I'm there. And no one can touch my knowledge base because I read every week. I put myself through classes, right? I went and got 2 separate degrees. I mean, I've done whatever I can to become that
You're a
way,
threat, bro.
You know,
You're a threat.
I think that's part of it too.
Oh, yeah.
It totally is, right?
Sure.
Because you threaten their knowledge base and all of a sudden they become one step higher than you and all of a sudden somehow, okay, you got promoted to one ahead of me, so now you're more moral. You know more than I do.
It's a
You're a
game,
better
man.
bicyclist, or you know more about bikes than me. You know more. You know what my job is when you have no clue. You don't have as much certifications. You don't even have, you know what it is like. They get this power trip when they really don't have any power over me. Okay, they're one higher than me, but there's really no power. He thinks he's got all the power in the world. He has no power. But he thought, we got into this argument where I said, you know what? You've had this straight path with your dad, paid for all your school. You know, you didn't get married till you were like 35. All that's fine. I don't care. But he kept arguing with me, well, the straight and narrow path is the one you should be on. And I said, well, I disagree. You haven't learned anything. You haven't been taught character. This is why you judge people that drink coffee. You know, he's kind of this
Very simple.
huge Mormon, which is fine too.
Sure.
Right? But
I
you don't
get it.
berate people at work because that's kind of a big thing with everybody.
Sure.
Everyone sits around and drinks coffee. That's what you do. It's awesome. And it's like, I'm pretty sure our creator, if that's what you believe, isn't like, oh, thank God you don't have tattoos or coffee or you never would have been here to heaven. I don't think that's what this all-powerful dude's going to say, right? And so I'm arguing with him that I'd rather have this path where you're grinding out, you're proving yourself, you're proving everyone else wrong. You do multiple things, right? Your rock has these 20 things on it. You're cool. You wanted your rock to say fire captain 20 years. That's fine. But he was arguing with me that, oh, this straight and narrow is the only way to be. Or what? You're a bad person?
These are the people that argue, though. That's my point.
Exactly.
There's no knowledge there, bro.
No.
Zero.
Life experience.
There's knowledge
nothing.
of one thing. That's it.
one thing. And most of it's kissing ass to someone higher than him. And that's what most of that is. And I told him how I'd rather have this path of hardship and failures and becoming better at character, a better person, more knowledgeable in tons of things, and having this path that I have experienced failure, that I have experienced hardship, that I have experienced victory, that I have experienced doing something different and not identifying with this one thing because everyone thinks you're kind of a dick, right?
That's what that line draws, is a big old dick.
That's it. And so it's weird. He's saying how I'm stupid and somehow a traitor to the service because I don't want to do this 20 years and simply I just want my rock to say more. And why that's like a thing of anger for him is like bizarre to me.
Why you even allow it in your brain blows me away. You're 4 times the human he is, and it makes him sad, and he's trying to drag you right to where the fuck he is.
You know, and it's fun. I love arguing with him about
guy.
it, right? Exactly.
I'd like to slap him in his however big fat face he is. That's life is so simple, man. It's like, it's disgusting. You bleed more, do more. That's it. Let them guys wonder, like, damn, man, what the fuck? That guy was. Whew. They'll feel it.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I know they would, right? And
as much as I want you out there because you're a gangster at what you do, it's like,
what's better though than than investing in yourself, doing what you want to do, like you said, right? The happiness, that's a raise in its own, right? Like
sure,
like people, they're not understanding of it, right? They're trapped, and some of the most miserable people that I know, you know, and they always say it all the time, well, I can't do that, or I can't do that. I've never thought that. I've never thought once I can't do that. Mm-hmm. It's more, how can I do that smartly? Or, you know, how can I still make money while I do that? Or, you know what I mean? It's not ever, and I can't. It's never, doesn't matter what it is.
Yeah.
And right, like you said, how I get into bikes, it was more like, can I take that shit apart and put it back together? I don't know. Those will do it. Yep, I can. It was pretty easy.
And there's way monetize on you. It's like, do you? Right. Yeah.
Invest in yourself, man. I mean, how do you go wrong?
I'm living proof
You're
of doing
living
it.
proof.
I'm doing it. So he's
no,
doing
man,
it.
I love it. I mean, you guys seriously have like.
I'm such a pussy about it though. Like I still like I stretch myself so thin because I haven't taken that leap and been like, I'm gonna leave my 9 to 5. I mean, my 9 to 5 if I had a situation like Junior had, then I would. But right. I think I just haven't taken that leap. But I know I can do it.
I'm much older though. I've been. That's all.
Yeah,
I was in the corner for so long with it.
Yeah,
and nobody puts baby in a corner.
Nobody. I don't take it real well. It's either I'm gonna be in this office 8 more times, or I'm bouncing, man. Like
right.
You don't talk to me like this.
No, man.
He says it all the time, beautifully. They need you.
Yeah,
man. The world needs to think that way, man. Whoa, hey, you don't talk to me like that. You need me, fool. Right. This dickhead guy with the penis thing.
I know, right?
Whatever, he don't know shit. He needs you.
Yeah,
so he can still look like he's on his little pillar. Yep. If everybody leaves and he's the only motherfucker there, good luck, G.
Good luck, right?
So it's so sick, man. Leave, bam, do you?
And honestly, even our chief is actually a good guy.
Sure. Our
last admin, it was a struggle, and 25%, which is a lot. We actually did lose a massive amount of people, and it was kind of a joke in the valley, right, in the Salt Lake Valley, and the chief we have now, right? I mean, he wouldn't fault you for leaving. You know, do what's best for your family. I'm supportive of that. The other guy, he is. The other guy versus like, no, if you're not 100% in this, you know, fuck you. And it's like, well, no, I am 100% in this. You know, I just maybe want a step more from me or my family, right? And this chief now, but he kind of says something similar, right? Where, it's okay. He doesn't think that identifying only as one thing is a good thing either. And so he's a little bit more understanding. And so with him around, right, it's got me thinking even more, because he's not going to hold it against you where if something didn't work out and there's a spot, he would bring you back. And the other guy wouldn't. Even if you tested somewhere and it got out, you were kind of in trouble, you know, and they're not supposed to even ask about it. And yet the other chief would.
That place will fall apart, wherever that is.
Right?
Eventually.
Hey, heard you tested for, Park City. Is this true? Actually, you're not supposed to ask me that. I've heard you did. Well, why? Well, I don't know if I did. oh, I heard your name was there. That's nice. You know, and
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man.
no,
I couldn't do it, bro.
that's what started. Actually, that's what got me back into school and get the bachelor's was that position. And okay, I'm gonna ride this out.
See, people don't realize the impact they have on others. It's simple. True
Yeah.
leadership will support you in success rather than drag you into failure and keep you there. And
Right.
there's always the next guy, man. There's always somebody else. It's okay. It's like somebody else is going to fill that job. It's just the way it is.
Sure.
Who knows about anything? Who cares? Like, you just got to roll you and
Right.
it's
And that's kind of the other point though too, right? Like you said, is that they need you. It will be a hit if you take, right? Most places struggle when, and this is just actually his explanation. His thesis was in like cultural change and in departments especially. And it takes, around 10 years to get that to happen. So when you're talking a really bad admin and guys that treated people like crap, and then he comes in and makes a new admin, that's a hard for him too, right? Because he doesn't want all these old ghosts that keep creeping up when he wasn't even around. And we got to give him a chance too to make those changes. And we're holding on to, and I have too. I've held on to some grudges. It's like, well, these other guys did this, so why is he going to be different? And so we got to be fair to him, but he's not the same. And I do feel better about looking into things without that fear, right? And so that makes it a little bit easier. But like Dre said, if having that 9 to 5, that comfort's just hard to take that leap, right? And I don't. How many people do you think actually have an idea like you that don't take that leap because they're in comfort?
the same thing as getting skinny and fit. How hard is it to get a six-pack? Fucking sucks, bro.
Right?
But it's the only thing worth doing. It's like,
Absolutely.
so that's that. It's all.
Just worth it.
Life is so incredibly complex. It's easy just to simplify, and it's like I have to do that because my head's too crazy. I'm like, man, this is what I want. Okay, A, B, and C to get it. Identify the problem. You listen to Jocko.
Oh yeah.
Identify the problem. Make a plan and fucking execute it. How much harder does it get than that?
It doesn't, right?
It's so simple. Fuck, the rest of it's just fun. It's fun. It's fucking hard. It's a good time. It's worth it. Oh. And I hope I fail tremendously because I'm okay with it. Yeah, I'm ready.
Because I was trying. Nobody's
going to grind it harder, and I will fucking find the way.
That's right.
And it's going to be my way.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It should be.
I'm just doing me, man, and I've never been so happy. It's never been harder and scarier and whatever. I'm just okay with it.
Seeing that's, we've had, supervisors be like, well, fine, then just leave. We'll find another guy. And chief has a, like you're right, there's somebody else, but it's not like it used to be. This is a different time, right? We're having guys that we can't get past a background. We're having guys that can't get through training. When you change everything, and like you said, who wants to be a cop? Who wants to be a firefighter? Because they're starting to come after them too, right? Changing their retirement. It's just all of it's just a big cluster. And you have these supervisors that have these power trips that say, fine, there's 10 more guys waiting for your job. Actually, there's not. You're telling me one of the top performing guys after 12 years is that easily replaceable? Chief actually will say, it's not that easy. You're not that replaceable. You're not replaceable. And that's the other thing I like about him, right, is that he doesn't do things by fear. He's very logical in saying, actually, I'm scared because a lot of places lose between 8 and 15-year guys. Yeah. And that's who you need on the street.
Yeah, man.
Right? That's the guy with experience. As a medic, I can't stand when you got a guy who's 1 or 2 years. It's like, oh, I've seen it all, done it all. I'm the shit. It's like, dude, I worked 2 jobs.
But that guy truly hasn't. That's the problem.
Exactly. I worked 2 jobs, 2 full-time medic jobs. And I didn't feel I could handle everything on my own for about 5 years. And that was working a lot. 2 different places that were intense. And I still, right, hope I learn every day. And you do with the advances in medicine, which is why, right, again, I make sure that my knowledge is second to none. And because I do grind, every week I have to learn something.
Yeah.
And medicine changes that fast now. And so, no, when you got the supervisor that says, oh, fine, just leave. There's 10 more guys waiting for your job.
Ooh, don't tell Junior that.
See, that's what I'm like.
That's what bounced me. I'm like, you got it, dog. Later.
Right. Yeah, fine.
They're still calling me, bro.
Right.
Hey, man, you want to come back? I'm like, no, fucking not even a chance of it. Ever.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
So you heard it. Like, that's it.
Dude, you got me.
Tell the wrong guy that shit. They're out.
Yep.
And that's the biggest guy that's going to hurt you the most, man, where it's like,
I agree.
That's why they're hurt, man. They know that.
I
And they know how powerful you are, and it's such an asset. That's the guys that go after. The guys making the ripple, the guy that's heard, the guy that, hey, man, let's do this. Let's make it. I was that guy there, too. And they're always like, man, just be quiet and play the game. I'm like, no. This is not a fucking game to me, man. I want to change this. I want to help with that. And they don't like that,
and it would probably work. They don't like that. And right, that's a culture, that's a problem, because that's how companies that get successful, right, embrace guys like you, right? And those companies that start having problems, whether you're talking business, public safety, if it's not from their idea, it's terrible, and then they try it, and we're all telling them, don't do this. It's gonna be terrible, and we're gonna pay for it, right? Whether it's someone that they hire, it's a creeper that does put us in the spotlight in a really bad way because they were a legit creeper, and we all said don't hire him. Screw you guys, you know what you're talking about. Oh, they hired him, and guess what? Fired 3 years later for being a creeper. Or a policy that's like, this is going to kill us, if we're coming from a different job and you're going to change the time, or, start mandating vaccinations, whatever it is, right? You start this mower of control. And like I said, from someone like a risk manager, because he hates firemen and cops. Flat out hates them because we cause a lot of damage.
A lot of shit going on there.
A lot of shit, because that's just the nature.
Yeah.
And then he's mad at us when shit goes down, and it's like, I couldn't help it, right? Like, I answered a 911 call. I didn't cause it.
Yeah.
And so risk managers hate you. And it's kind of bizarre, right? Instead of being supportive, I mean, they have an awesome city. You have a city that's rated, in the top 25 in the country every by Better Homes magazine and all these other magazines. And why do you think that is? I mean, the city does a good job in their money.
Good structure,
but it's because they have awesome infrastructure, guys that are public works, from parks to fire and police.
Yep.
Those are who's making the most impacts, right?
Absolutely.
I mean, who's plowing the streets on Christmas Eve?
Yep.
I mean, he's getting overtime, but he's away from his family on Christmas Eve plowing the streets.
Yeah, man.
Right? Don't treat him like shit.
Yep.
And
Utah's a good place for all this.
Yeah.
I truly believe it. I feel it too.
I do too. And honestly, if shit goes crazy, there's no place I'd rather be. I don't want to be Cali right now, New York.
Everybody's leaving.
Actually, we're seeing a ton of it, right?
Yeah.
Just last week, right, encountered 3 or 4. Oh, their driver's license, California. Well, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're looking at a house. Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Want the fuck out? They're just lost, and hey, we're trying to find this street. Oh, yeah, you're about 5 miles away. Go here, go here, go here.
Yeah.
Cali, okay, what are you doing? Yep, we're buying a house. You're set on it. Okay.
Yeah.
And there was 3 or 4 of those just last week.
People aren't stupid, man.
No, they're bouncing like crazy, right? And it's kind of screwed our housing market up, right? Because now houses like yours and mine are, it's good, right? It raised value like crazy, but now if you want to go buy something different, or people that are looking for starter homes, right? It's kind of a kick in their ass.
Sure.
Because something basic that I bought for 190 is now 310,
yep.
And it's everywhere.
Yep.
So, good if I want to sell, but I kind of feel bad but those guys are selling their house for $1 million.
Yep.
Coming here and paying cash in St. George, and then it's raising prices. But as long as they don't bring their politics, they got them in that shitty situation.
I think we're good there. I think this is a good place to be, man.
I do too.
I truly do. I love it here. Everybody that talks, I love to hear all the shit talk. I think it's funny.
Oh, yeah.
Don't stay away from Utah, people. Please. It's garbage here. It's garbage. We hate it.
Oh, dude,
Utah's the shit, man. I'm
fine, right?
I really do.
Fine, stay. Those people can stay out. That's fine.
I love it. I hope people think it's crazy. I think it's beautiful. I'm proud to be from here, and I love it here. And I'm proud to have you guys stomping the streets the way you do. I'm proud for when you leave. My cousin's getting ready to bounce. I think he's out too. So
really,
he did his 20, all that. Yeah.
Damn, he's just finally gonna hang it up.
Yep.
Was he got something after, or just gonna chill for a while?
Nope. He's just chilling. He's done. He's just good. He's out. Josh.
Yeah, he said that he's done with law enforcement. He said once he's out, he's out. He doesn't want to be a PI. He doesn't want to do anything related to it.
He's over it. Did his thing, and he's done.
Sure. And good for him for sticking 20, right?
And there's, I guess, right?
Yeah.
What's a lineman retirement thing, right?
Yeah.
We never do. We die doing it.
No shit.
Linemen die in their craft. Linemen don't retire. There's 6-7 times. A buddy of mine, Clancy Johnson, he retired 6 or 7 times. It's like, who's to say who does what and what craft? Who gives a fuck, right?
Right.
He did his thing. That's power. Good for you, man.
Cool.
And you do 12 and you're out because you want this, that's even more beautiful. I think people follow this heart, quit worrying about what the fuck everybody thinks of you, and do you, man. There's no reason. People that stay stuck in the one spot for too long, that's a problem. If you don't like that, if you want to change it, change it. We are our own architects of our life, and a lot of us don't see that, and I bleed it. Do you?
You do.
If you want to stop and be a Chippendale now, goddamn do it. Get them clothes off, shake it. I don't know. Who gives a shit? Just be you, right?
Well, I did that when I was younger. I don't know if I could do it now, but
Well, you're all fit and shit. It fit the bill. I was like, man,
we'll have to tell that story another time. But
right.
I did get paid in Vegas
See,
for something.
Just saying.
Just saying.
Do you do private security at all?
No, but so I mean, like I said, I put in for the contractor. One of the things that it would be hard to go overseas, like I said, with my 3-year-old Shadow, and it would crush me and it would crush her. But there are some 3-month contracts that I've put in for, and I'm just waiting for them to get approved. One of the coolest ones, right? So Captain Phillips story, right? You remember? Did you ever see that show with Tom Hanks? Right? Captain Phillips is on a cargo ship. They got like 50 million worth of product, and they're selling to Somalia.
I'm the captain now. That's what he says.
I've never seen that.
Yeah, so
You never seen it? It's a true fucking story,
I'm
bro. It's
stupid.
fucking
one of the
crazy.
most
Stupid for
amazing
movies.
stories. So we'll make it really short. These 3 Somali pirates bring this little tiny cabin boat up to this massive cruiser that's hauling, right? I mean, the train cars, cargo cars, and they're carrying multi-millions of product, and they're sailing through international waters, and this little dingy boat, it's cabin, it's orange, goes onto their ship. Not one person on there has a gun. He has a flare gun. And he calls for Coast Guard, and they are, 3 days away. And these 3 Somalis with AKs takes a ship. Well, they go through and kind of rob what they can, and then they realize they don't have enough gas to get back. So they take over the boat, and when they see the Navy coming 2 or 3 days later, they take him hostage, and they go in their little dinghy boat that has a captain, so you can't see him. But the Navy does show up, fly some dudes in, drop in, kill the 1 or 2 dudes that leave there, and now there's 3 have Captain Phillips hostage. And the movie portrays him as incredibly brave. He stands up. He says he's got to piss and tries to swim for it, hoping the Navy can go get him. And they shoot around him and say, "Hey, next one, we're gonna do it." So he stops, but he kind of fights them back and does a good job. And he stays alive, and then he becomes smart, and he kind of, right, these guys start getting the heat getting to them. They don't have water. They start getting a little stupid. Navy shows up. They put 3 snipers on the deck of this aircraft carrier, and they're waiting for these 3 snipers. So think of this. Their boat's moving up and down with the waves. You got your carrier moving up and down with the waves. And their plan is to take 3 simultaneous shots whenever they get 3 clean shots and just take it.
Damn.
And they kind of trick them. They run out of gas, so the Navy says, "Okay, here, we'll tug you in to the next port." And so they have a fake boat that they never actually attached to them. But they did attach it to the carrier, and they're moving it like a foot every hour, slowly bringing them in. They're not kind of like the frog in cold water that you boil, right? Instead of dropping it into the boiling water, not going to jump out, just slowly gets hot and cooks. Same thing. They're just bringing them in.
Yeah.
Bring them in for a closer shot. When they all see all 3, they 2-1, boom. They hit all 3 with the waves up and down on both boats.
That's a real story.
A real story.
That's dope.
So now they got smart. Boats like Captain Phillips hire contractors. They have 6 of them on there, 3-month stint, $15,000 a month. And they give you, a sniper rifle
Keep
and
us safe.
a couple automatic weapons, and hey, they break 75 yards. 1 warning shot, and then the next one. My favorite is an orange boat, just like the one on Captain Phillips. Dude hits it with a 50, hits the motor, and the whole thing just blows up in 1 shot. And those guys are like, "Whoop, I didn't plan
Don't
on
do that
but-"
again. See, we've alleviated this problem.
Right? Yeah, and weird, right? Now there's a lot less pirates stuff going on.
That's it.
And that's it. And
Weird. We fixed
what's
the
it
problem.
to them, right? What's $150,000 in that 3 months when they're carrying $75 million in cargo?
Right.
Nothing, right? And yet good money for me, right? You go do a stint, $45,000 for the 3 months. And
It's funny we can fix problems that we truly want to fix. Is the some of the moral of
weird,
this.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, weird.
Yeah.
Like, we need to censor. We need to censor Trump for being mean, but yet we'll allow sex traffickers to keep talking on Facebook, and we'll keep allowing pedophiles. And to me, that seems like priority's a little off. That's just my take.
Yeah, I'd have been a rough in any of them situations kind of dude, man. I'm not a very tight-lipped fella. I'm pretty. I'm all about it, man. I just do me, do it hard, and then be like, whoa, hey, nah, no, you ain't.
No.
Bro, that ain't happening.
No, man,
So it's kudos to you guys that do all that, man. You guys are good people, and I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about it.
no, man.
I really
appreciate
don't.
that. It's been awesome. So I appreciate that, and I know everyone that you've had on before does too. I just know it, and like you said, Utah's an awesome place. The majority of people, you know it being here.
Oh, it's
Right,
it's a
and-
very loud presence. It's calming though.
Yeah.
I've never been harassed.
No.
Don't look at me. I'm a wild son of a bitch, man. I've been from one end to the other, and I never have I been had that, man. It's just we have
Good.
a cool, good presence of it. It's
Yeah,
it's
just-
loud. It's very loud here. The police, the officers everywhere. You just see them. The presence is there, and it keeps us safe. I love it.
Yeah, good sense of community here, right?
Really
just
good.
overall,
Really good, man.
and that's people making that. I mean, law enforcement has a little bit, but majority that's the other people, right?
Sure.
That keep it good, make it good. Low crime, just a good, like you said, beautiful place, good place. I mean, in one day, right? I was riding the dunes in St. George, drove up to Bear Lake, and was on a boat in the same day. I mean,
And then you can ski the next week.
yeah, right. Oh shit. Yeah,
Now it's
it's
time
just
to go do your
phenomenal.
thing and get out
Right.
all that bullshit and clear this mind out of yours, man, and make it where it's even more help. You've helped enough. It's time for you to help again. That's my little crazy thing is I'm in 75 different things. I couldn't do one thing. I'd go fucking crazy.
That's kind
tried.
of my mind, right? It's
Just-
just
I did
just
it for
go,
too
go,
long.
and that's what makes it hard is it's just continuously going. So you sit and wait under these parameters, and it's like, man,
Everybody's got a caged animal, man. It's like find out what he wants to eat and feed that sumbitch.
right?
And I like to eat different shit every day, so
Hell
you're,
yeah,
you're
right.
the same way.
Tear it apart. It's true, man. That's it. Like I said, that my favorite tat, that beast on the side. It's that all animal, right? Just tear into it.
Sure.
And it's like you said, the time was yesterday.
That's it. It's everybody's time
I
is
believe
yesterday.
it. Yeah, dude.
We all know what we want to do, and we all know our answer. We just choose not to listen to it. It's very simple. For fear of judgment, lack of others, of those we love and appreciate the most, we fear their judgment, man. It's sad. I don't. I absolutely do not. I'm quite the opposite of it.
which is good, right? And I'm
And it's not, too. A lot of people think it's not. So it's cool. I'm
Sure.
self-aware.
right.
I scream. I wish everybody was a little more self-aware. Just know what you want and go
Agree.
do it, man.
Well, that's kind of the problem, right? Is that I'm such a nonconformist. Like the more you tell me not to do that, but it's within my value system, the more I'm gonna do that. Just because it pisses you off, I don't care.
Don't touch that alcohol,
Yeah,
son. And be
right.
like, oh, where's it at? Which one? Oh, that. Okay, got
Oh,
it.
that one, yeah.
Turn your fucking head one time.
Right. Hell yeah.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do, right?
No.
No, it's me, man. That's me.
That's how I am. It causes problems because you're not playing the game.
Try to
but I don't
box me
play
up
the
and see
game.
what happens.
Exactly. It's 100% the same. I can't. Yeah, there's no other way to say it. That's just. Yeah, I'm the same, right? And that's the thing is that I'm in too many cages and going for yourself, whether it's bikes or the PA. I think that cage would not be the cage wouldn't be any. I mean, you have some parts wherever hospital you're working, right? But it's not. It wouldn't be the same. Not even close. Or multiple cages, right?
And
It just
change
wouldn't
is
be
healthy,
there.
man. Change is healthy. It's beautiful. It's necessary, and it
think so, too.
keeps all the bullshit out. People that get stuck in a rut is a rut, man. It's bad.
Right.
Change it
It's
up.
bad.
It's like,
Well, and it's
what do we want? Just change something. Who gives a fuck? Go do something different.
right, and if it's stuck in your head that long, right. To me, that's like a problem. Like, right, you've had this passion and you've wanted to move and you figured out how and you're just not taking the leap. Like that's almost
It's detrimental.
like you said, the rut. It's a problem,
Oh yeah,
and
that's harder on your psyche than anything in the world, man.
right, and
And it creates more self doubt.
I didn't really
It breeds it.
yes, and I didn't think of it that way till literally 5-6 months ago, around August.
Yeah.
Right. And like I said, I'd been battling health stuff for a year, you know, and finally took 3 months off work and was like, let's gonna do something. What is that? Something? Oh, bikes and study. That's weird. I studied the same shit I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I did bikes anyway. So it's like how the two things I ended up doing.
Yep.
You know, and,
We dabble. We all do. It's a
you
thing.
know, yeah.
It's a thing.
You know, I mean, what would it take, Dre, to finally go?
For myself or you?
Yeah, no, you.
For myself, it's really just, I mean, because I have the support of my family. It's really just as a father, I think it's that you have to provide, right? You have to provide and protect. That's our job as fathers, you know. And I think for myself, it's knowing that, you know what, it's going to be okay. And I have honestly, it's just me doing it because shit, I've had the most work I've ever had during a fucking pandemic while the world is in fucking chaos. Opportunities have presented themselves, you know, even to getting a second job. It's like, you know, it's just about doing it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Just doing it. I don't know when it will hit me and be like, okay, just do it. I think it will be a junior situation where I'm maybe mistreated at somewhere that I have invested years at to feel that way. But so far, I mean, they treated me really good in the 8 years that I have invested my time there. I feel like I've built the company that I'm with, you know.
Some ownership's good too.
Yeah.
And the dog never goes around looking for more food if it's fed and everything's happy and good. It's just that easy.
It's also true.
Yeah.
And I just knew from a young age that it's hard to bottle me up and keep me in one seat and one little thing is all.
Oh yeah.
I think, because don't get me wrong, I think it's beautiful when people just for the rest of your life do one thing. That is beautiful. It's just anti what I am.
Sure.
And when I hear others have my same thing and struggle just to tick with an idea, that's where I step in real easily. And I'm like, whoa, I'm going to help with this.
Right.
That's all I sense from you.
Well, ideas aren't anything without execution, right?
Yeah. From other people, it's comfort is being 20 years. It is whatever it is. But when people speak of other things and you can hear a thing there, I pounce on it like a fucking tiger. That's just me.
Yeah. It's cool though.
I can feed on that because I understand it is all. But I don't understand the guy that's comfortable working in one spot for 40 years. I don't get his psychology at all. I think, but that's just him. That's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, man. It takes all of us to do all this shit, man. And I'm just a out of control beast. And if I feel somebody else is too, and they're caging it up, I can uncage it like a motherfucker. And I'm just because I know it so well. I feel I've been there,
man.
And I wished I would have done it younger.
I know, right?
It's a longer story of no wishing anything, but there's a reason why I didn't. And the reasons, it's a long story, but people, all it is people in your life that will actually
help.
It wasn't me at all. There was, I felt obligated, A, B, Y, C, and D, whatever it is. The only things we feel are the things we allow to feel, man. If whatever you allow to do whatever, you're allowing it. And I finally had enough. I'm like, listen, I'm not listening to this. People all know who they are. I'm like, I'm over it. Nobody's affecting another decision of mine. I'm fucking done with this. And I just left like that.
See, I've got even more mad respect for that because
it was
Dre mentioned something that also does affect things, right? That if I didn't have kids, I would have made that any sort of jump.
The way I am, hear me out on this.
But you did.
Detrimental to me would have been, I'm going to stay here because this is the right thing to do. For my brain, for this guy's brain, is quite the opposite of why somebody else would stay.
Right.
I would become toxic. I'm going to hurt somebody. I'm going to do something really bad because I'm not here. That's just my attitude.
Right.
It may call it selfish, man. You could call it selfish in a second, easy way. No. But look what happened when I did leave. Yeah. I tripled my success. I tripled the amount of income I'm making.
Right.
Everything tripled because I'm that human.
Yeah.
People that think the way I think need to uncage that. That's all I'm saying. People that think the way Dre thinks, that's beautiful. Do that.
Sure.
I just feed on people that want more because whatever you are doing, you're the guy that will make things triple down when you are the boss. When it's your say. When it's my say, things go fucking crazy because I'm in charge.
Right.
That was the problem where I was at. That's the problem where you're at. He's not having a problem where he's at. People that have problems are wanting to pushing mom, pushing dad. That's what they're like, son, relax.
Sure.
I had that my whole life. And I'm like, no more relaxing.
No more, right. Yeah.
This is my life, my story, my headstone.
Yes.
I have no headstone. Like, I'm going to be burned. Like, I have all these,
Yeah,
you can't cage me, man.
No, I love it.
I just feed on that. I love to grab a hold of that when I feel it. And some guys are just chill, man. They're like, man, this is just the way I am. And that's beautiful.
Sure.
But when I know somebody wants more, I can feed into that. I can lean into that hard. DeMarco was another episode we had that just fuel. I just love that.
Yeah.
I love to surround myself with those people.
Right. I think that's
passion and just full of it. You know, I love all that shit because that's who I am, man. I don't like to be around the sit here quiet and think about shit. I just want to go like an animal. I got a lot to do.
Man.
You know, and I feel that from you, man. So I just think it's cool. If you're ready to jump. That's it.
Yeah, there's
the scary shit's what's worth it.
You know, and everyone that has this kind of mindset says the same thing, right? You could be Jocko, you could be David Goggins, Jr., everyone that I'm seeing, right, that has that same passion and drive. It's the same as, like you said, I mean, you mentioned caged animal. That's the best way of, I mean, I haven't told my guy that, right, that I've been talking to, but that sums it up the most easy, simple way is I am, you know, a caged animal. In fact, the problem is, you know, I'm caged, leashed up, and told what I can eat, you know.
What does that do to your health, bro? It's so simple.
People
with all these problems, that's it.
It was legit killing me, right? I had some stomach stuff. I had an autoimmune thing trigger that I never had.
That's it.
And all of a sudden it's like, you know, and everyone, without knowing everything, all came to the same thing is, dude, it's right? You've held, you know, this crazy traumatic event in for 8 years. That was too much. And the other thing is that, you know, you want these other things, and you, what a little bit's fear, a little bit is, you know, what Dre said, you know, making sure my kids are taken care of.
Stop there. So I just don't believe in that. Guys like that, that's not an excuse, because you'll get 5 jobs at Subway, Walmart, whatever, while you're still building this dream on your own terms just to make it so your kids eat.
And
that's all I'm saying with, you got to make sure you don't got to make sure anything.
And I didn't
if this ain't healed, if this ain't right,
Right.
This is going to follow and something bad's going to happen. I knew that with me.
Right.
Nothing's been better in my life.
See, and
it's like,
I didn't realize that till
your kid will eat. You will fucking go to you'll go kill a buffalo across the, you see what I mean?
Oh no,
So these people that say, well, I got to provide this, you don't provide, you're going to die from a fucking heart attack because your head's fucked up.
I agree with that.
That's you. That's me.
I agree with that.
So I was like, yeah, you keep that job toxic a little more, bro. See what happens. You're done.
No, that's actually that was the feeling, right? That's why.
And then your kid's really fucked. You were mean, you were unhappy, and you didn't provide because you died.
No shit.
That's how I see the world, bro. That's just me.
Oh man, that held me back so long, and part of it was, right, what had happened in 2012 changed that perspective, and did kind of, I was okay with a caged animal, but that's not who I am, right? And so when I finally realized that's not me, and there's a problem, and why is that there? Where is that? I mean, it sounds corny, right? But where is that eye of the tiger, go pounce on it attitude that I had when, you know, I went through the academy, went through SWAT school, that I had earlier on? Where is that? Just that insatiable drive, right? You know, I played arena football for 2 years, and everyone was just like, what they kept telling me was, you know, they did underestimate me because of your size, but pound for pound, there was no one stronger, and I hit like a freight train.
Who tells you that where you work now? Nobody.
I know, right?
That's where the caged animal is. You're surrounding yourself with people that are those.
Right.
You have that.
Right. That's
it's
what you need.
It's so fucking simple.
It is, right? But yet I held, and part of that was just, I got rid of that animal and was like, oh, I'll just,
because they're not in that.
I'll just keep doing that here. And all of a sudden, someone just talking simple sense that knew the game, that knew guys that were in my situation, and gave me 3 examples, and all 3 of them that I talked to, right? 12-year guy, 15 guy, 19 years. Do you know how mad his buddies were at work? You're in the old system. You're leaving at 19 years. You know what he said when I said, do you have any regrets?
Not a
Hell
fucking
no.
single
Should have done it 10 years ago. It was fun.
No such thing as
had some
regret.
experience, but I should have done it 10 years ago, right? I mean, I kind of do my own thing. Wages is 2 to 3 times more, working less. I pretty much don't have a boss, right? I mean, I'm told to see these patients, and I do, and I'm happy doing what I'm doing, making more, and killing myself less.
Yeah, dude.
And the knowledge that I have is what I was seeking, right? Same thing. The knowledge I have is awesome, but I can only do a little fraction of it where I am, you know, and I can't, even as a flight medic, right? That opens you up to a little bit more, but still not enough. Not enough for here that keeps going.
Yeah,
it has
man.
to have more.
You already know what you need.
know,
Go do it.
And there it is, right? And
That's all it
I
is.
caged my own animal for 8 years.
We just
right?
uncaged it today.
I actually, you know what? I believe you.
It's done.
And I believe you. And it's weird that last week, right? We finished my brother-in-law's bike, and he's gonna buy this second one coming up here. And he was like, "You should just do this full time. Like,
bam,
this thing's awesome." We drove to
You
Idaho.
know exactly how it's gonna happen, right? Something at work's gonna happen, and you're like, I don't fucking need this.
Yeah, done.
That was last week, dude.
Yeah. Okay.
It's always last week. See,
Like,
and we didn't
there's gonna
react
be
to it.
another
We didn't
next
do it
week.
then. It's like,
Yeah.
why didn't I do it then? I
See,
can't.
and I don't want another one of those, and I've already had 2 or 3, and I don't want another one. Like, it'll crush my soul and give me that heart attack. Like, I
real.
can already tell.
It's
right?
real.
I can feel it inside that another one of those is going to crumble me because I'm going to say, I said that last time.
Yep.
And if I don't take that leap, and for anybody that listens, right, that's afraid to take that leap, you know, there are legitimate fears, but if you're willing to put that drive into, you know, it's the same, what I've already done, right? Without that proper drive, most guys don't, I've been the longest serving medic on the team by far. Most guys make it 1 to 2 years. Our last one made it 7 months.
You're already saying it. Who
You
does
know,
that?
And I'm right.
See?
And I'm a decade in.
It's already there.
And so no matter, same as you, right? You dive head first, and I don't care if it hurts at first.
I want it to.
Right? Because, well, that teaches you more
Yeah.
than just passively winning.
I know it's coming.
Right? I don't want to beat the guy that was last. I'm beating that guy that was second, right? Because then that shows I deserve to be first.
Yep.
But I'm going to make it happen to where I am first, right? It's not going to be luck. It's not, you know.
Yep. Yep.
And keeping your opportunities open, right? Which you guys already hit on, right? That was a plan I had for whatever reason. And whether that was I knew it was going to be a stepping stone, you know, I mean, I had a hard time thinking, right? It's going to be hard to leave, you know, the team. But now my heart's still in it as much as it was.
Absolutely.
You know, and I could be happy doing that because I'm so proud of being there for the guys. But
But
the
is
same
all you
time,
say.
right?
It's a but.
But that's
Why does a
my
guy
heart,
cheat on his wife?
right?
It's so simple.
There's
It doesn't even matter.
just-
There's one
right.
little thing missing because you never would if
If one
it was
thing-
what you needed.
right.
See? So the buts are so stupid. They're just endless.
See, and I agree, and I didn't think that. Like I said, man, it's only been the last 5-6 months
It's
that
real, bro.
it wasn't.
You're-
And it's sad. If I didn't have that event in 2012, I wouldn't. That cage beast never would have happened, and that event did. And my only regret so far is right that I let it crutch me for this long.
But you learned.
Learned super the hard way, but yeah,
That's the only way to learn. And
Right.
You know it. You
I
know it.
agree. I agree. And like
I
I said,
feel
this
it
comes
from
back to, oh yeah, definitely, right. And don't get me wrong, right? I wanted some of this training, some of this experience, some of this way you impact people. I mean, some of the training we've got to do, mind blowing,
Sure.
right? Some of the stuff I've got to see, insane. Some of the stuff you've got to do, right? I mean, nobody else, like I said, 1% of cops get to do some of this stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
And you fulfilled that and you're ready for the next step.
that's all it is, right? So it's bizarre that the guys that are lifers, and some of them I think are lazy. Some have a passion for the job, and others I think want to sit in a recliner and they're okay with that for 20 years. And again, if that's what you want to do, that's cool, that's fine. But my brain, right? Every night that I'm sitting there, I'm reading a book, and everyone's like, "What the hell?" And I'm reading 6 books a week, and at the station, and they're all playing, you know, Uno, or they're doing some, I don't know, whatever the hell they're doing, and I'm reading something else, and they don't get it, and I'm like, well, this is part of school.
That's
This
good.
is part of the next step. This is how you get more knowledge. What do you mean? Like, I can only just sit there and watch TV for so long, you know.
Yeah,
and
man.
my brain is just nonstop, you know, and it's been that way since I was young.
Simon Sinek, man, it's simple. It's just if people did what they wanted to do for a living, they don't care. People don't care about money as much as we think. If they're
I agree.
fulfilled, they're fulfilled. And you've hit a spot where you're ready, and I think it's beautiful timing.
Well, it is. And last time we had this huge exodus, right? And they do these exit interviews. Very few said money, right? That was third or fourth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not helping right now because we're way low to the bottom, and we do more. Admin wants us to do more than I've seen anyone else do.
Right.
And our guys do it, you know, because they care. But it's sad that in one of the most cities that have the most money, we're paid almost the worst in the state. And it's fascinating to me, right, that they require this much. They know it. They just don't care.
Yeah.
You know, and our old city manager actually said, we want to be below middle. So we expect you guys to be here, but we only think of you as here. We could pay you more, but we don't want to, right? We want you here. And that was always bizarre that they flat out told us that. And that's always kind of struck a weird chord that's the guy that's keeping the people that are making him the most safe, again, featured in magazines. And that's what he tells all of us. You know what I mean? Just what a bizarre thing to say.
For sure.
You know, I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't address that. And because then when you put it that way, it made it worse.
Right.
And it's worse than not saying
And
anything.
kudos to you that do it still, man. That's the thing, man. I couldn't do it. There's no way. Absolutely. But I know that. So I'm just happy that there's people out there that are okay to be treated this way, act this way, go through the things they go through. Your stories are incredible. They're absolutely, you got, all of you have, I don't know how you do it, man. I really don't. But yeah, it's cool. And I like to talk to all of you guys, man. I think it's neat.
Yeah, right. I mean, like I said, who thought, my favorite was the first of the Taliban ISIS cell. I mean, just insane, right?
Yeah.
You pull up and there's an FBI truck and an ATF truck, and you're like, oh, this shit's real. Something's going down tonight. Not just our normal, right? This was actually pretty intense. And like on the movie, there's a live feed on the house. I'd never seen that before. And it's like, we seriously have a Flowers by Irene van outside the house, right?
Jesus, dude.
With a live feed, you know, and watching the house, and you walk in and you're like, wow, there's guys really in a truck with some night vision goggles watching every car, monitoring every license plate, drones, like TV, major shit, you know, and now I know why, right? It was legit real players. And once they actually wouldn't have activated SWAT if they just were selling the opium and the heroin. But when they start offering guns to everybody, you know, that was when it finally was like, we got to do this now. You know, and, you know, I mean, last thing we need is a couple unregistered AKs, you know, by some bad drug dealers.
Right.
And so that's what kind of forced the hand. And yeah, so, I mean, we get information super odd ways. We even had a sex trafficking case that ended up being a drug case that actually Border Patrol said the same car keeps coming back and forth. And somehow they were able to track it to Kearns, Utah. And it was suspected sex trafficking, right? So some detectives get on it and find not only is it going to the border every week, but, you know, with unknown girls in it. And then when we hit the house, there was just containers, you know, huge Tupperware containers of different drugs. Just mind-blowing. But that info came from Border Patrol. And so just fascinating how. And that's just one case we caught. There was 50 that we don't even know about, right?
Right.
And that's what kind of sucks, right? We hit one, you get 50 more going through, you know, and this is safe little Utah, and there's still that many more. So think about Southern Cal and Texas, you know, Nuevo Laredo, and just some bad places, man. So
For sure.
Grateful to be here.
Yeah, and you guys make I know some of your crazy stories that, you know, that I just said, you're amazing, man. You guys are.
No, man, just another guy, you know, just right. What is that? I used to know the guy who said it right. All that a good person needs to do in this world is nothing, right? Just be a good person, right?
Yeah.
So
just pick up that little mess at Walmart. Just
yeah, pick up that diaper, that poopy diaper at Walmart, throw it away.
Guys, this is officially the longest podcast.
No way.
How long have we been going?
3 hours and 28 minutes.
Holy,
That
29 minutes.
This feels like 20 minutes.
I didn't think it was even near that long.
No, man, this feels like 20 minutes.
Yeah, it's almost midnight.
Dre's gonna get in trouble.
Yeah,
Dre,
my
you're in
girl's already
trouble.
texted me.
Tell her I'm sorry from the bottom of my heart.
No, blame it on me is usually what happens because she doesn't even know me.
It's always a cop.
And I'm usually involved in that same sentence. And Jerry was there too.
Hey, dude,
It's the
sorry,
sound of the
lady.
police.
Sorry, lady.
Dude, that was crazy.
Your story's awesome, man. I think that we have a lot more to talk about.
I do
feel
too,
like,
for sure.
There's
this
number
is
2. This is a number 2 one.
different than this is different than just talking to your PTSD kind of dude.
Right?
Yes.
Actually, you're totally right, man.
Yeah.
Good pickup.
This is dope, man.
It gets way deeper someday too. We'll do a part 2. For
Oh
sure.
man, you could, right? And I was gonna introduce you to the craziest shit ever that most people don't believe. And
We're gonna do
like
number
I said,
2.
this story gripped me harder than anything I've
Well,
ever seen.
We'll go get Alfonso again, and we'll do it again.
We're gonna do number 2.
We'll see. We'll get this all tangled up. Good
No,
time.
this is cool.
I mean,
man.
you're a neighbor, right? So it's
Yeah.
not gonna. It shouldn't be
Literally
hard to
two-
get you here.
literally 2 streets.
Literally, I could throw a rock.
Yeah,
Okay.
you just walk home, right? Like
Awesome.
Good client of mine too. These guys are good people.
I know you're not a
it's
you're not a
good fun.
Facebook guy. I'm assuming you're not a social media guy. Nothing you want to tag.
correct, man. So I have Instagram for some fitness stuff, right? The companies that there's a fitness expo in Vegas every year. To get your free swag, you got to show that you follow them. So I made that Instagram account mostly for that, and then I kind of follow some tattoo guys and
Yeah.
Gotcha.
some law enforcement agencies, but
Well, anything you want to
I've already
plug?
tagged. Yeah, you know what? Obviously, Highline Tattoo and anything Junior does has just been amazing. Like honestly, he talked about
Thanks.
this, like a year and a half ago, and I was excited for it back then. And people that, right again, it's kind of funny, but just sitting right here is amazing, and just what you create is fascinating.
Thank
and
you.
And it's been impressive, right? And just your mindset of attack, something that I liked on the first tattoo session that I just was impressed. And it was just when people say where's like a fun place to get tattooed, it was just fun being here, right? I mean, even like right now, like I said, it feels like 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm there.
This is just fun as hell. Getting a tattoo here is fun as hell. You, Erica, it's always been super fun.
Thanks.
Just fun, right? Even Chelsea is the same. It's just fun. Like it's different.
Well, we just keep adding to it. He's part of this
Yeah, now,
nightmare now too. We're almost 30 episodes in, and this
That's
is just getting
phenomenal.
better and better every time.
Right? No, man, it's
just-
it's good. I don't care. Or do you mind if I give one more tattoo shout out? Is that I don't want to be disrespectful,
Nope,
but
not even a little bit.
So there's a man, Jerry in Bonneville Tattoo, who just gone through some really horrible circumstances. But DeVille magazine just actually featured him, and just he's a champ. So I just want to say, everybody, if you're looking, I mean, it's only Junior or Jerry for me. I mean, there's no
yeah.
question.
Hell yeah.
And so actually a lot of people have been asking, they see on Instagram, hey, where's that one from? Where's that bitch and wolf from? Because with my arm down, you kind of can't see that front one, but that one that I love the most, you see it perfect just from my side.
Hell yeah.
And everyone's like, holy shit.
Thanks, man.
And it's actually the album cover to the song we got married to. So that was a picture. I kind of said, something like this. And so it has kind of some deeper meaning. So when people kind of hear that, they're like, oh man, that's bitching.
Yeah.
So, if you're in South Salt Lake or kind of around South Jordan, Jerry's just gone through some hard times, and the fact that he's still here is kind of a same thing, kind of a testament to him. And so Jerry over at the Bonneville Tattoo, and man, if you're up here, you got to check out Highline. Just fun. Like, not only is it bitching, but it's just fun, just different,
Thanks, man.
So, and thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
Like Jay just said, this is kind of a different way of just talking, and your guys' questions were just straight up and honest and just fun.
Thanks, bro.
And a different way of talking.
For sure.
And so thank you, not just for the invite to be here, but thank you for the talk. I do believe you've uncaged that animal, and this has made me feel kind of on cloud 9.
Good, man.
And Dre, again, you guys, every time you guys speak, you're hitting stuff. You're beating me to the punch, like already, like, oh man, I was gonna say that. Oh man, it's exactly how I thought, or I just didn't put it that way.
It's that podcast life.
It is, bro.
It is, man. You guys are
This is a thing, man. Connecting with human beings is a real thing, and he brings a certain thing to it, and I definitely bring my own. It's just it's a good little fusion, and I love this show, man. I live for this show, and hopefully he can continue to do it after tonight.
Yeah, right.
Because his wife's gonna slit my fucking throat.
She might already be outside.
All right, here, well, I'll postcard at his house.
He's a medic, so we're good.
Is there such thing? You heard of the doctor's note? Is there a cop note? Can I get it?
I swear to God, look.
Yeah, we'll do a.
We can script. We have a script.
Yeah, we can work something out. Only if next time you give me a sexy voice, but that's it, man. But yeah, we'll make a note.
Well, from the bottom of my heart, from the 27th hour, this is our beautiful podcast. I love it. I'm proud to have people help me create this. I'm proud to have you special guests on all the time, man. You guys are crazy. The stuff you guys bring is awesome. I love to just reach out to everybody and talk to everybody we can. So I thank you for your time. I appreciate it. I hope everything from here out goes. I know I don't hope shit. It's gonna go great for you, man. You know what's up,
dude. So, yeah. Again, thanks for the invite, and then the therapeuticness. I didn't count on. I didn't think of that. Right.
Absolutely.
And Dre actually, just as therapeutic as the other guy. Like seriously. So thank both of you.
Hell yeah. Yeah. Thanks for coming on, man. We appreciate it.
Anytime.
So everybody, thank you so much for listening. Keep listening. Support the show. Follow Dre Rocca. Look this guy up. He's crazy. You guys know where he's at. You listen to the show. He's Monday through Saturday, 3 to 7 on U92. Look him up. You know where our stuff's at. We're the 27th hour. Thanks for coming on, Sean. We appreciate it. Be nice to everybody. Love you all.